Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Carol Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Well, welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. It's a Saturday afternoon, and it is the IPL, and today we're going to be partying like it was 2008 because it is a rerun of the first ever IPL match, would you believe, with RCB taking on the Kolkata Knight Riders. Back in 2008, RCB got an absolute mauling from the Knight Riders, beaten by 140 runs. If you remember, Brendan McCullum got 158 off something like 73 balls. That possibly, some might argue, set the tone for much of the next 17 years as far as RCB have been concerned. Today, of course, it's Eden Gardens. KKR, the champions, they hammered the Sunrisers in the final last year, and they're going to be taking on the Royal Challengers of Bangalore. So, first of all, quick introductions. Alongside me in the studio is our IPL expert.
Oh, expert is an overstatement, but I'll take it.
He's risen a meteorological rise from graduate trainee to IPL authority in the space of about 25 minutes. And chortling in the weather cave, a man who got all excited it's almost an embarrassing level by the fact it might actually rain, is Messi Jez.
Hello. Well, I'm pleased to say it's not predicted to rain at all today. And that we can expect uninterrupted, other than strategic timeouts and other meaningless ways of bringing advertising into our lives.
Well, if we get a chance, we'll go through some of the new rules. Most important news first. Who's won the toss, Abby?
Bangalore have won the toss and have chosen to bowl.
No surprise, I guess. Do you want to give the teams as well?
Yeah.
Tell us what's
hold
happening
on,
there.
let me pull them up. Yep. So for the home side, we have got Quinton de Kock, Venkatesh Iyer, Ajinkya Rahane captaining them, Rinku Singh, Ankush Raghuvanshi, Sunil Narayan, Andre Russell, Ramandeep Singh, Spencer Johnson, Harshit Rana, and Varun Chakravarti.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Fast and quick.
Yeah.
Straight on, doesn't turn.
Yeah.
Still beats everybody.
Okay. And for Bengaluru, we have got Virat Kohli, Salt, wicketkeeper, Patida, captain, Liam Livingston, Jitesh Sharma, Tim David, Krunal Pandya, Rasik Dar Salam, Suyash Sharma, Josh Hazelwood, and Yash Dayal. That means Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has not been played for this match.
Oh, has he not? That's a shame, because I was making some notes on him earlier. And we haven't got his eyes to talk about. But never mind.
That puts my bet in jeopardy. But
right. So let's just try a couple of quick things first. KKR, worthy champions last year. Oh, there's good old Jay Shah with his sort of dodgy semi-Elvis haircut. Right, KKR champions. Can they do it again this year?
I find it difficult for them.
Okay. Yeah. In one sentence, why?
Mumbai.
So there we go. There's your colours firmly nailed to a mast. Messi, you and I have been avid followers. I mean, we've barely missed a moment of the IPL for what is now 18 years. RCB have never won it. Is it going to change this year?
No, but RCB will do what RCB do, which is give everybody a bit of hope and then blow it. It's the way they operate.
It does rather seem to be. What can we expect, Abby, from the pitch and the conditions at Eden Gardens, do we think? Remember the batting second is where Patidar's gone?
Yeah. I mean, if let's take last year's season out of the equation. The batting power score at Eden Gardens has been 191 over the years. Now, obviously, dew is a major factor when we play at Kolkata.
Mm-hmm.
So I think bowling first is actually a great decision, and it's a batting friendly ground. Eden Gardens has typically been a ground where you can chase relatively easy at.
Okay.
But you've got Salt playing for Bangalore, so I mean,
yeah, we all know about Phil Salt, don't we, Messers? I mean, he can come off.
I mean, he's got a better record in the IPL than he has for England, I think.
Yeah, well, I think that's the issue with both him and Livingstone. I think they're better T20 players than they are ODI players, that's for sure.
Again, Salt's playing at Eden Gardens, where his record has been phenomenal.
True,
so
he is. Yeah, that's it's interesting actually looking at that average first innings score. 93 IPL games at Eden Gardens. Over the years, 163 is the average first innings score. But what's really telling is last year it was 198. The team batting first only wins 41% of those games. The team batting second, 59%. Batting second has an absolute advantage, we suspect. Best type of bowling, interestingly, is left arm off breaks, left arm orthodox. Sorry, I'll get there in the end. And off breaks from an economy point of view, and from a bowling average perspective, leg breaks. Those aren't particularly areas that RCB are blessed in, specifically.
Yeah,
you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Looking at the spinners, Suyash Sharma, Krunal Pandya, and Shashank Singh, I'm not too impressed actually.
Yeah.
I mean, Krunal Pandya, he can do a job. That's all I can say about him, because I'm actually a fan of his.
He's more than just his brother's brother.
Yeah, I am actually a fan of his. I've seen he has won us loads and loads of matches with his with his spin angling in. But again, if he's not a frontline spinner,
True enough. True enough.
he'll never be a frontline spinner. So
Well, it's game on. It's my friend Reggie, Mr. Hazelwood, who's in. It's defended off the first ball by Quentin de Kock into the offside, and IPL 2025 starts with a dot ball. Oh, what a joy!
Why Reggie?
That's his second name, Joshua Reginald
is it?
Hazelwood.
Ah, there you go.
Which is, let me tell you, the best second name to have for almost anybody anywhere. Speaking as a man whose second name is Reggie.
Anthony Reggie. Reggie,
That
I've
is
never
me.
thought of you as Reggie.
I'm Anthony Reginald John. That is me. Right. In comes Joshua Hazelwood. That one's drilled, cut really, past backward point. It's the first boundary, and we are off and running with a 4. Here it is. Or maybe not. Now here it is. Little bit short, little bit wide,
Yeah.
Emmy.
That's not a typical Quinton de Kock shot, actually. No, is that Quinton de Kock?
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a
left-hander.
typical Quinton de Kock shot. I've seen him. He sort of likes to play it more on the leg side. But nevertheless, I'm actually digging this new graphic.
Comes Hazelwood. Remember, he's
Oh, no.
De Kock has gone to play on the leg side. He's launched this up in the air.
Oh!
That is an absolute disaster of a piece of fielding. Well, I can't believe it. Josh Hazelwood, Reg or not to his friends, is just looking dumbstruck. He cannot believe it was completely misjudged. It came onto Quentin de Kock just that bit too quickly. Up in the air it went, coming down out of the lights. And who was that with the buttery
Surya
fingers?
Sharma.
Well, has he dropped the IPL?
Oof.
Might be a bit early.
Definitely.
Hazelwood, that will have fired him up, and then indeed there was an extra yard of pace on that. Remember, he was did his what did he do? He did his hamstring, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the second ODI in the England series, so he missed out on the Champions Trophy. That was awful. It was telling Messrs a little bit to watch the reaction of the fielders around him, all of whom just put their hands over their mouths and went, "Oh my God, what has he done?" Remember
Yeah.
Stuart Broad style.
Well, Quentin de Kock's someone who you really need to get early. He didn't have a great year last year in the IPL. He averaged 22.
Yeah, you did right. Well, there
Once
is
he
a
gets
slip.
to move on.
Hazelwood in, he's beaten the inside edge. It's the big shout, and I think he's got the inside edge. Well, I think they're going to review as far as Livingstone has got his arm around the keeper. Who's the keeper for
Jitesh Sharma.
Jitesh Sharma? Never easy to take them when they're swinging back in and they're an inside edge
he's
to a
walking.
left-hander. I think he's walking anyway.
Oh.
It was the faintest of edges, very well taken. Maybe they were looking at whether it had just grasped before it arrived at Jitesh Sharma's gloves. Hazelwood's got absolutely no doubt. Sharma's got no doubt. And indeed, as it turns out, Quentin de Kock is walking anyway. So he's gone for 4, although he's being made to wait out on the boundary. He's already had one massive let off. And then I'm not quite sure, you can't body read the chap who stood next to him on the boundary, but he sort of rather pointed, gesticulated and suggested he carry on walking. And indeed he will. And where's the camera? Well, needless to say, Messrs, where does the camera go? Does it go to Hazelwood? No. Does it go to Quentin de Kock? Of course not. Does it go to Virat Kohli? Absolutely.
Of course it does.
It
Of course
does.
it does.
4 for 1.
As it should.
I'm not even going to get time to jingle up Quentin de Kock. He's already gone. And it's the captain of the Knight Riders. Has a shocking captaincy record, actually. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Ajinkya Rahane, who's going to face what should be the last ball of this very, very eventful Hazelwood over. He defends it into the onside. It is the end of the first over. It's 4 for 1. Quentin de Kock was dropped at short cover. He was then caught behind off an in-swinger from Josh Hazelwood. And it's 4 for 1. Messrs, I notice there's
We've got 2 super chats
fantastic
already.
things. Right, do you want a musical introduction to those? Here
Indeed.
it comes.
Quickly.
Here's your bright super chat.
Muttley's with us. He says, afternoon primates, love and sausages and sends us a fiver. Thank you very much. And Jay Grover thought the IPL might be easier on my wallet, but alas, here we are again. He also sends us a fiver. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Leah is with us as well, as is Stephen Kelp passing through, and Farong is with us too.
Fantastic. Familiar names, and we're delighted to have you with us. 4-4-1. That is Dayal, isn't it?
Yep.
You're going to have to help me out
Yash
with
Dayal,
your Yash Dayal.
Last year's hero for them, winning them the important match against CSK.
Was. Well, he's bowling to, please don't malign, Sunil Narine. And it's down leg.
Oh,
and what is a shout for a tickle down leg. There's a smile from the umpire. I'll tell you who that is in a minute. I rather think that was one of those shouts that is, well, we might as well give it a go because otherwise it's a wide.
Yeah. I think it struck the pad. I think that's what Jitesh thought that he was appealing for.
Yeah.
Of course, Sunil Narayan's going to say no. Of course, he's going to say no.
We're going to have another look here, which will give us a better view of things. It bounces. It does. I think it tickles the leg. It went between bat and pad. I'd be very surprised if there is even the littlest of wrinkles on Ultra Edge, and indeed there's not.
Yeah.
Why have they got pictures of an umbrella?
That's not an umbrella. That's a tree.
It's a tree.
Yeah,
of course it
is.
For
every dot ball.
That one is defended back to the bowler. For every dot ball, yes.
For every dot ball, I think there's going to be a tree planted. Now I'm not sure.
What a fabulous idea!
Yeah.
We were in a fantastic, the Bear and I, in the Bishop and Bear. We had Tanya Aldred, who runs a charity called The Next Test, which is all around promoting climate change initiatives in cricket. And that will be coming out next week. It'll be coming out first, of course, to our fabulous patrons. I'll just finish that thought after this ball. In comes Yash Dayal, swings away from Narine, who never really seriously was after it, I don't think. But we weren't having a go, but we did question the fact that everyone from the Olympic Committee to the United Nations has a top-down policy on addressing climate change. It seems not so the ICC was the observation we had. But that is good to see from presumably the BCCI.
Yeah.
That they're at least
it could be the
taking
IPL
something positive.
Itself. It
could well be.
Yeah.
All very positive things though. So we've had three trees. If a tree is a dot ball, we've had three of them in the Yash Dayal over, and it's going to be a fourth tree. We're practically creating a forest here. Is Yash Dayal? he's doing more for the planet.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose he's undoing some of the fact that people had to fly backwards and forwards from Pakistan to Dubai during the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
At least he's repairing some of that. Right, we have a mid-off, a mid-on, a cover, a point, a backward point, a short third on the leg side, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, fine leg. That suggests a lot of protection to the left-hander of that offside. Yeah. So what does Dayal do? He throws one down leg. And it enables Sunil Narine to tickle that out to short mid-wicket, but get himself a single. He is off and running. I'm utterly remiss. I have done no player jingles. Where is Sunil Narine?
Oh, they second.
Can you see him?
Second row.
Yep. I've got him. Here he is. Thank you.
Please don't malign Sunil Narine.
Real journey. Well, he's a real traveller, isn't he, Sunil Narine? He's it's been a few years.
He'll play for every team except for the West Indies.
I think he has. That's a shout again, but that was sliding away down leg. I think Rahane was looking to work it away into the leg side. Well, that's a terrific over by Yash Dayal. He's 5 trees, spoilt by just the one single, which means it's 5 for 1, and we can go back to Messers.
Okay, thank you. So Jay says he's just made a cheese and pickle toasty in honour of George Foreman, and says tots and pears to all his little Georges. Leah says that was a sitter if ever I saw one.
But wasn't it?
Veronica says Scottish goalkeeping in the first over. Any Scots playing? More chances than anyone from Pakistan. and says, Virat Cam. Evening, chaps, from a rainy Kuala Lumpur, says Sophin KL. Nice to see you all IPLing, although I suspect 74 matches will be the death of us all. I think that's probably true. Yankees 7,000 just yawns. And Jay says, I've just cleaned mould from my bathtub. Now I feel guilty. Don't tell Tanya.
Josh Hazelwood was in, and that one went over the top of... Well, we're watching the inside edge that was removed.
Let me remind you,
a production note, Billy points out that the score is not coming up.
No, we know that. I was going to tell you that.
Right.
I'm afraid to say that we've had a couple of algorithm changes from where we quite legitimately access our score card device, and that won't be fixed until the next game. So apologies. That's bounced, and Narine was onto the back foot, but... it was whistled past him, and there was no run.
Hazelwood's bowling.
Well, I suspect, although he got that wicket in the end, he's been nicely fired up by the fact that he was dropped off that. Was it the third ball of that over that really should have taken the wicket and didn't? So he'll be, and I would imagine he's also feeling pretty good.
No, it was De Kock who was dropped.
It was,
yeah.
It was De Kock who was dropped, but then out.
I think a lot of.
Oh, sorry.
It all depends on how well Hazelwood does.
Well, he's doing very well so far, and he's over the wicket, and it's a swing and a miss from the Rhine. Through it goes to the keeper. 2 more trees, 3 trees are planted in a garden or a forest somewhere.
Yeah. Again, if Hazelwood manages to remain fit throughout the season, I see RCB doing fairly well. Maybe even with a slight chance to make the playoffs. But given Hazelwood's injury troubles recently, I do not see how long he'll last.
His hamstring's doing all right at the moment. That's gone up in the air, but it's one bounce where a backstop would have been, but wasn't. And it's the second boundary, possibly fortuitous, but they all count.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
He's certainly getting some bounce though, Messrs.
He certainly is, and a bit of pace.
Yeah. Is that little layoff since, missing the Champions Trophy really, appears to have done him some good. He's in feisty form, still got a slip in place. He's into Narine, who thumps him straight to mid-on, and there is no run. 4 trees and a 4 is where we are so far. I was going to tell you about Ajinkya Rahane. His captaincy record prior to this game: 25, won 9, lost 16. Oof, that's not great, is it?
That's not
great.
No. But I think looking at KKR after the auction, you sincerely could not point out one captain other than Ajinkya Rahane. I know they spent a lot on Venkaiah and
Hazelwood in.
There was probably a thought there amongst all the cricketing fans that maybe they're grooming him for the role, but obviously they gave the captaincy to Ajinkya
That was
Rahane.
just a little too quick for Narine, and he rather inside edged it down onto the ground. It's the end of the the third over.
Yeah.
It's 9 for 1, 5 for Sunil Narine. Rahane yet to get off the mark. We can go back to the weather cave, the message conveyor, supreme.
I gotta say, Narine played 6 really ugly shots that over. It was amazing.
He didn't play well, did he?
Billy Stevens says the drop off to Kock is purely poor technique. As I've previously mentioned, the hands need to be up for that kind of catch. Otherwise, you lose sight of the ball for a split second.
Well, there you are. Bit of coaching from the great Billy.
Yeah.
How
are you going, Billy? Is Billy joining us today or not?
He's not. No. I was told, I was reliably informed there would be a communication from young Billy yesterday to inform me of his availability. No communication was received, and thus I have to tell you he's not on. That is defended as sounded a bit Neville Chamberlain like that. That is cheered away into the offside for a single by Rahane. He's yet to get off the mark. Another tree finds its way to a forest somewhere, and it's still 9-4-1. And where is the camera right now?
Kohli.
It is indeed. We should probably. Actually, we can't play a jingle every time the camera lands on him, because all we'd be doing
He's playing Kohli jingles.
it would be right. Rasik, I beg your pardon,
Yeah.
is bowling from the high court end at Eden Gardens. That's down leg. That's
4.
twirled away off his legs beautifully, and it's going to be 4 runs in the first 4 for Ajinkya Rahane, and it was probably a bit of a loose ball, if truth were told.
He's got a lovely action though.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
I'm not denying he's got a lovely action, but if your lovely action sends it down leg side just to be tickled away for 4, it's probably not that great.
Yeah.
An uglier action that was a slightly more better directed ball would probably have been better, but there we go. We can't judge him on that one ball. Well, first one was a dot, of course. There is still a slip.
Oh.
That's been hauled away by Rahane. Goodness me, he's got hold of that. Whipped it away, high and handsome, over square leg, all the way for this IPL's first 6.
Poor bowling.
It was poor bowling. So after a decent start, he's been clobbered a couple of times. The first was a bad ball. The second one possibly just a little bit too short, and was there for Rahane to pull away. That's a better ball, and it's driven straight to point. And the Forests are back in business with a dot ball. Who was I going to look up? I was going to look up something. Find out something about this chap who's bowling. I think would be very useful.
You're going to do your Mr. Fu impersonation, are you?
Mr. Who? Mr. Fu? Who's Mr. Fu?
Is the one who's can't see properly.
That's Mr.
When
Magoo.
you're looking at your Mr. Magoo. That's who I
Mr.
mean,
Fu.
yes.
Who's Mr. Fu?
Mr. Fu's the one who pops his head up over the wall.
Oh, is he? Right. In comes Rasik. That's been launched again by Rahane. Crikey Moses. I think they've
That is
decided
a
who they're
lovely
going to
shot.
target. Are they going to target
Yeah.
Rasik? And he's been launched over deep mid wicket. That's probably 20 rows back.
Yeah, that was a lovely shot. I
It
think
was a
Rasik's
belter.
been very predictable. I think he needs to change it up.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to get the chance after this over.
Yeah, clearly not. I think
Not a great 92 metres. That 6 went, to the delight of the home fans.
lovely shot.
And his captaincy record may not be that great, Ajinkya Rahane, but he started off pretty well here. It's 25 for 1. We've got 1 ball left of the 4th over, and this over has already gone for 16. Rasik is in, squirted away, down towards short third though, and they won't take a single. So another dot ball to finish the over, and back to Messers.
Muttley says, imagine if they planted a tree every time the camera was on Kohli. Yeah, we would have no problems with deforestation. Billy tells us he's in heaven, actually. He says, sorry, Tony, I have rather predictably been playing golf and getting pissed all week. All the lecturers are on strike. Well, why wouldn't you do that then, Billy? I mean, it's just about all the things have come into alignment for you, the stars. And why wouldn't you do exactly that? Perfect for a student. Leah says, did a quick IPL shirt. Become a Patreon so you can see it on the Discord, everyone. It's a very good recommendation.
Fantastic,
Lots
we
of
will.
stuff on our Discord to see.
While watching the IPL KKR dancers with
Oh,
their
God.
flashy pom-poms. What we should mention, very quickly, before the change of bowling, is going to be Krunal Pandya, brother of Hardik, of course. Not particularly rated by Abby.
No. I love him.
Oh, he loves him.
I love him.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I,
All right.
I just said he can't be the lead spinner for a team.
Well, he's replacing Josh Hazlewood, and he's
And-
been launched first ball because Narayan has just said thank you very much. It was a bit of a dobber to
Yeah.
start his IPL off, and Narayan just swung through the line away over long on, and it's another maximum. Crikey, they are not messing around.
Don't malign Australians. It's Krunal, not Hazelwood.
I did say that. I said
No,
he's
you said
replacing Hazelwood. Anyway, it's gone for 6, 89 metres
Anyway.
worth, to the delight of those dancers.
100 quid, Tony. What do you think might be worth 100
I
quid?
think the GPL is worth 100 quid. You've got first 45 minutes, which leaves you another 22. GorillaCricket.com competition/competition. You simply register. You have to estimate the runs that will be scored in this game. You will have probably, I hope, heard us chatting a little bit about average first innings scores. You can work it out from there, and you've got 45 minutes, of which 22 are left. Krunal is in, defended into the onside, but we'll get him a single out to deep mid-wicket. And 7 off the first 2. Messers, something has caught your attention. What is it?
Well, I've just made a boo-boo, and I've done 4 picks on the GPL, which were 200 less than I meant them to be.
Brilliant.
So the pot now is at £103.
£103. Well, speak it right. Are you working your way through Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters? We've had Mr. Foo, Mr. Magoo, and we've just had Boo Boo. Have you got any more you want to bring into the conversation?
Yappa dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo. We're into the Flintstones. Right. Krunal, not a great start for him. 7 off his first 2. That's a better ball. He saw Rahane back away and he followed him. Left him nowhere to go. And it's the first tree planted for Krunal Pandya. And where does the camera go to celebrate
Kohli.
that massive dot ball? Of course it does. 32 for 1. Bit of an ugly start. Attempted reverse sweep. I think that pitched outside leg. The umpire thinks the same. Rahane was looking to reverse sweep.
Again,
And it's another dot ball.
Yeah, I think that is Krunal's strength. You know, when he angles it in for right-hand batsman, and that's what he did well over the years. That's why he earns a living playing cricket, and he can bat well as well. So again, I'm gonna have to swallow my words as he's slapping.
Well, that was a horrible ball. That was down leg. Rahane just swept it away, bit uppishly, but there's no one down at deep backward square. A couple of bounces, and it's another one of these. I think it's fair to say he's not found his range yet.
Yeah. And also, he's being played way too early. I think the only reason why Patidar has gotten him because he can't afford to give Rasik another over just yet, and he also doesn't want to exhaust.
Is that long enough? Yes, it is. It was again launched by Rahane. The field's up, of course, during the power play, so he beat the 2 short fielders at mid-on and mid-wicket, and it's gone for 4 more. So after a very shaky start, this is starting to look like not a bad start at all.
Yeah.
That was right in the slot though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't look much like his brother.
He is the elder brother. So, I mean,
What is he?
you could say Hardik doesn't look like him.
Okay. Either way, which true, but either way, they don't look much like each other. Then,
Yeah.
if they both walked into the Bishop and Bear, and I was serving behind the bar, I wouldn't go, they're brothers, those two, because they just don't look like it. 44-1.
Jay Grover says in capitals, "I am not giving another 100 quid." You say that, Jay, but we know.
Well,
Perko, who I hear at very short notice.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, Messers. That was flicked away imperiously by Sunil Narayan, who's in very fine touch indeed, through mid-wicket for 4 runs off the bowling of Yash Dayal. Straight down leg, just helped on its way, really. Messers, you would just. Do you want to finish your?
Perko's produced a whole lot of jingles for us at very short notice, as ever. Thank you so much, Perko.
He did.
He said there'd be a lot of dead airs if gorillas stopped maligning Australians.
Good Lord. That squirted off an outside edge, dropping short of deep backward point. It's Phil Salt who's down there. Single is taken. The score moves on to 45 for 1. The run rate pushing 8.5.
Red does suit Salt, doesn't it?
Oh, and it is going to be a Seat Tyres timeout. Glad to see. Some things never change. I always think, what have I missed most in my life recently? I know, Seat Tyres timeouts. Well, the good news is there's going to be one. Now, there's a little shuffle. They're slightly reinforcing that leg side field, which possibly is not a surprise.
Which means he's going to bowl it to...
In comes Yash Dayal.
Oh, that's...
Top-edged.
That's
One
four.
bounce where third man would have been, obviously, they're forward rather than back. And it is 4 more. The runs are flowing.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Doobie-doo-doo. Do-do-do. Yeah, he was looking to swing that to leg, I think. Possibly threw him a bit too quickly. It's still 9 off the first 3 balls.
It's only just not 6. It reminds me what a silly game this is. Sorry, that it is.
49 for 1. His strike rate is going at 215.
Oh,
and it's
my
not
God.
going to get any worse there, because he's pulled that away over deep square leg. It's 6 more from Rahane. Up go the umpire's arms. And the runs, it's a flood. It's a tsunami of runs.
Not much of a play, was it?
55 for 1. This partnership, 51. De Kock, remember, having survived off the second or third ball, I actually can't remember.
Yeah.
Terrible drop. Still went in the first over, but since then, Rahane and Sunil Narain have taken charge of proceedings. That's a horrible full toss, and it's glided gorgeously by Rahane through backward point for another boundary. And I think RCB are looking a bit like they're losing the plot in the bowling department.
Yeah. Again, typical RCB.
Never won it. Is
never
this
won
the point at which we say they've never
Never
won
won it. Yeah, because that hasn't been mentioned a lot, has it?
Not yet.
Clearly,
I'm sure
people
it will
don't
be.
know that RCB haven't won the IPL. There we go again. I've mentioned that once again.
Well, do you know what? I mean,
The
my
Super Chat
theory...
alert, by the way, Tony.
Okay, we'll do it first thing at the end of this over, because Rahane's retaking his strike. What have we had off this over? 10, 15, 19 off this over so far, of which there's still a ball left. So poor old Yash Dayal is getting a right old bit of tap. And climate activists everywhere will be tutting, going, if only he could just get the ball a little bit more economically on the spot.
Who does more damage to the environment, Yash Dayal or an aeroplane?
I thought you were going to talk about mining or something like that. You're right. Right. He's coming around the wicket, which is a smart move, and Rahane just dabs this one out towards point, gets himself a single. 60 for 1. The run rate is blasting along at 10 after the power play. We are due a change, I think. Who should it be? It's you're going to take over on ball by ball, Abby. I'm going to stay here and take up socials from
Just
Messi.
do the super chat.
Get us
while
up
we
to
do
date.
that. Jay Grover sends us £2. Says Elder Pandya gets senior balding privileges. He says I want to create a graph correlating my drunkenness with my Guerrilla Cricket donations. When I stop talking shite, I stop getting bakshish. Yeah, so keep drinking, Jay. That's all I can say. And Mark Arnold says RSB explains a lot. Yes, indeed. Okay, I shall catch you in a little while.
Fantastic. Thank you, Messrs. It should be, I have to say, Ajit, but I can see no indication of him nor his armchair appearing in the green room. So, Nick, if you're listening, which I hope you are, could you come in and join us? Oh, hang on. No.
Actually, we're not due to change for another over anyhow, Tony.
Oh, it's just 7. That's right. It's my fault. I saw 6, the end of the power play, but I do 1 to 7, don't I? It's all right. You're okay, Nick. Stand easy. My mistake.
I think I'm on ball by ball.
You're on ball by ball. Ajit has a after the next over.
Yeah.
I confuse myself with my new and Ajit and his armchair have appeared. We are having, though, a Seat Tyres time out. Well trodden. Those have been highly appropriate, I suppose, for tyres. Right, well, Abby, why can't you help us a little bit with some of the rules for the IPL now?
Yeah.
Saliva is one of them. Saliva's back.
Yeah, because people salivate, and actually the batters salivate seeing Yash Dayal come to bowl. But obviously they've reinstated that the saliva rule where we can,
So you can put a bit of spit on the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of the ball,
there's
going to be more balls than ever in this IPL. What's going to go on there then?
So there will be 2 new balls every innings. I think the second one will come after the 10th over. So halfway through the innings, there'll be another ball coming in.
Correct.
Are they trying to? I mean, last year was
as if the cricket wasn't a more complicated game.
And it's still 12 aside, I take it.
Yes, that was
the
coming
impacts
on
up
to
because Dhoni's still playing, so you have to, accommodate him. Because
Yes.
I've got a quick question for Ajit. Can you just hold on? You're not until the next over. Can you pop your camera off? Cheers, mate. There is an interesting point about the new balls, though, that exponentially the increase in batters' advantage in the IPL, particularly with the impact sub rule, we saw in the last 2 years how the scores have skyrocketed. Is this to a certain extent an attempt to sort of rebalance the equation a little bit towards the bowlers?
Because no one enjoys 240, no one enjoys 560 runs scored in a T20 match.
Suyash is going to be in. That's a weird piece of filth, but it's going to actually get him.
He learned that from Shoaib
He's going to
Bashir.
get himself a tree.
He's been taking personal lessons from Shoaib Bashir.
40 matches, 10 wickets, and an economy rate of 8.7 is what he's achieved so far. Has Suyash, who's replaced Krunal Pandya, who did certainly get walloped about a bit. He just jogs in, short, wide, cut.
That might be 4. Yeah, it is.
And it's beaten the man at point, which was the Salty Sea Dog, but it doesn't matter. It's gone for 4 runs. Yeah, that wasn't. Nothing yet in his bowling has suggested he's going to menace either Narayan or Rahane, who both appear to be in fabulous form to me.
He is playing against the side that gave him the big break, actually. So that should be interesting.
That will be interesting. And then the last point, if we've got a moment to do it, is impact subs.
Yeah.
Were you as a say you win the toss and choose to bat? What are you likely to do? Are you going to play you're going to add your batting? When is the best time to play your impact sub, depending on whether you're batting or bowling? That was, I guess, my question.
Think the impact sub always has to be played in the second innings. I think that's the best way to use it, because right now, if I'm KKR, if I'm looking at KKR, I might take another batter out who's not that much of a great fielder, and then bring in a bowler, because I want, as a captain, I want to have extra options. Diversify my options.
So if I bowled first, I can load my batting.
Yeah.
And if I batted first, I can load my bowling.
Bowling later, yeah.
Which is effectively making it a 12-a-side game.
Impact sub is until I actually put them on, do I?
Yeah,
no,
and because of the impact sub rule, you can modify your starting 11s based on how the toss unfolds. So the lineups, the official starting 11 lineups, won't be announced until after the toss, because you don't know what you're going to be doing.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Again, this is from for this year's IPL. If any Indian player who was previously capped has not played for the Indian team in the last 5 years, he is an uncapped player. Guess who that rule was made for?
MS
Yes,
Dhoni,
sir.
perhaps.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Jesus.
Just looking. Yash Dayal there. Who's the chap bowling? I haven't got his notes anyway. So Suyash is whatever Suyash is, and he's over the wicket. Oh, that's an inside edge by Rahane onto his pads. Keeper runs around from behind the stumps, fields, and it is a dot ball. So we've actually had 3 dot balls, and Suyash, although his first ball was pretty poor, and he doesn't look overly menacing. He's managed to concoct 3 dot balls out of 4. So
undoing the damage that yesterday did to the environment.
Well, yeah, on some of it. We'll have to see how he goes for the rest of the over. That one he pushes through. He's a little bit quicker as well through the air than you perhaps give him credit for.
Yeah.
It looks gentle medium, but that one seemed to gather pace off the surface, and it's another dot ball.
Yeah, it's still only 98 kilometres an hour. It's only just above spinner rate, I reckon.
I was wondering who else we might see. I'd made notes on our friend Swastik, but I don't think he's played an IPL game yet. Or if he has, he's only played the one, and he's not playing in this one. That is driven. There is a man at long off, and they will just take a single. It is 7 overs complete, Messers. It's 65 for 1.
Okay. I'll do a couple of messages.
And you can hand over to me.
Jay says, hooray, Ajit. Leah says, yeah, that Kohli kid is pretty good, but he's no match for Kim Jong-un, who made a T20 double ton and took all 10 wickets in the same match multiple times. He said so. It must be true. The Harriman says they didn't make the rule, but have brought it back. And Jay says, neither he nor Kohli shits. True fact. The Leah about Kim Jong-un. Okay, I'll catch you in a little while.
Thank you, Messers. Welcome to Ajit, and over to Abby on Ball by Ball. I'm going to be your social messenger. All my sins.
My apologies about the early entry. I was again under the.
I got confused as well, Ajit. Don't worry about it, because I forgot that we're doing 7-ball stints.
Rasik back for his second over. On the pads, I don't know what he's appealing for exactly, but sort of hoping for an LBW there.
Not too bad a shout.
Yeah, I think
probably just sliding down.
Definitely sliding down. I think it's a bold move though by Patida bringing him back after he was slapped around by Rahane. Especially since Rahane looks in a great touch. Maybe if they had lost a wicket now, it would be a great move to bring Rasik back. But gutsy captaincy wins you games, so we'll see how that pans out.
That was a long way down leg, wasn't it? I'm not
Fair
sure
enough.
that was.
Now that I see the replay,
Never looked like
it was on the outside edge of the pad.
That
was not a bad shot. All right. But all right. I mean, I'm looking forward to how Rasik Salam can make a comeback. Okay, he was targeted. Can he get somebody like Sunil Narine out?
Lovely bowling there. Cricket, gentlemen. Way wide from Rasik there. Probably not what he was looking for after that dismal first over.
I think that was an attempt at a bad.
Yeah.
It was an attempt at a slow ball that went bad.
Yeah, that went bad. Really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely didn't get
Rahane
that
looks
right.
in prime touch. He seems to be proving a point of 3.
I think he's picked it up from the SMAT trophy. He was really good there. And the question wasn't about his form actually. He's been in great touch. But the question was about his captaincy. And obviously now that we know that Kolkata didn't have any captains in their squad, kind of makes sense to give it to Rahane given his experience and everything. But yeah.
I thought that was nifty work from the keeper.
Yeah.
I think he had played it down into the ground, so I think he saved a couple of runs there.
Jitesh, let me remind you, won the IPL with Mumbai Indians, of course, 2013. But yeah, he had a great season with Punjab Kings last year, and a great buy for RCB. Rasik in, and that is played down to long on by Rahane. Moves to 45 of 24.
It's been a mixed bag this over, really, hasn't it? But not an overly expensive mixed bag.
No boundaries so far, and a lot of slower balls, very interestingly.
Change in approach for him. I think pretty smart by him, seeing as to it that his fast balls are being, played on. I think if he wants to make the batsman work, slower ball is the way to go. That's a wide, but a pretty good attempt at a bouncer from Rasik.
You saw the stumps disturbed. What's going on? I think it might be after the
Yeah.
After the end of the delivery, is considered dead.
It's Tim David who's pointing it out, and you're quite right. He didn't look anywhere near the stumps, and he hadn't stepped back either. So what will have disturbed them would be a bit of a mystery to me.
Maybe the wind.
Not sure. You get a huge amount of wind in the enclosed environs of Eden Gardens, but definitely you're absolutely right. It was a wide. He's looking to sort of. Yeah, it was a wide on the height, as opposed to width, although it was pretty wide as well.
Oh.
So umpires spread your wings and
Rasik in. Great slow ball actually. I think he's found his line of land, especially for that slow ball. 107.2 kilometers per hour. Changing it up pretty much every ball now. What do you think about that approach, Tony?
Certainly, it fooled Narine, who's been enjoying the ball coming onto the bat.
Yeah.
And that one was just the classic slower delivery, of which, of course, Narine himself is a bit of a master.
Oh.
But he steps back casually with his bat in his hand, and he does knock the bails off, but the ball was dead, I think.
That is four. That was played really well by Narayan. Pitched up by Rasik, maybe a bit over pitched, and Narayan gets down to splice it past backward point for 4 runs. Think that's a welcome boundary for Narayan, isn't it? At this point,
he was struggling a little to get going. This might sort of trigger him. I thought that was very close to a Yorker. So I think he dealt with it very deftly there.
Yeah, he angled the bat and turned a sort of a defensive downward thrust of the bat into an attacking shot. It was beautifully played.
That is, up Kohli again, as if the camera didn't need any other reason.
Well, he's actually fielded it this time.
Yeah.
So he's not just there for nothing. Right, a few messages at the end of that over. Let me see. I'm going to say a couple of blue sky hellos to old friend Grand Theft Auto. Hope you're well. Dorian Gray as well. Hello to you. If I go over back on to YouTube, Jay Grover says the Aurora Borealis are kidnapping Ajit's hair and are sending it to the heavens. Oh, I see what you mean. You have a point. The Harriman will be interesting to see how much Hardik is going to get booed this season. Unreal support, to be honest. Leah says, why would he be booed? They're going to use Hawkeye for wides and waist-high no balls. Farong, the lad, Duckett, would have been a perfect fit for Punjab, one of Tony's favourites. Indeed. Let me see. Joe Grover, Farong, 42 minutes. They'll proper restrain today, lad. Jay, I can tell you that Grover, the Jay, is back in my garden, looking magnificently handsome.
So Yash, in floated down leg side, that is definitely a wide.
Yeah.
It looked so floaty. I thought Rahane was going to latch on to it and probably
he did get down on. Yeah, he did get down on one knee for that. Probably looking to get it past short, fine leg there. But he is sort of a skittish bowler, isn't he, Suyash?
He bowls close to 100 kph and fastest leg breaks.
Yeah,
that's what you can call them. I'm looking for a googly. I'm looking for another one yet.
Oh, that is wow. Oh, that is a great shot, and that is Rahane's 50. And what a way to get there!
I absolutely nailed that.
Absolutely
nailed it over the
Clock sweep a la Steve Waugh almost.
Yeah. So you're right. It's one of these. And for Ajinkya Rahane, it's one of these.
Stop, just cause you got to 50. Don't stop, treat it as a start. You can use this to get a better score. The first 50's done, the first 50's done. Ooh, don't look back.
Rahane has not looked out of touch, especially after his amazing SMAT trophy. Strike rate of 200 in the first match. Great innings by him right up till now. Oh, and he's lifted that up over the infield, and that is expertly stopped by Phil Sott in the deep, I must say. And a great throw to match it.
Yep. For a moment, I just wondered if Salt was half interested, but it pitched well short of him. That 6 from Rahane was just absolutely launched over deep mid wicket.
Nobody even had any doubts, not the bowler, not the batter. The moment it left the bat, they were all right, let's get back to our bowling mark and so on. So
the thing is, I don't think of Ajinkya Rahane as being a big hitting, but I think of style, I think of classy cover drives.
Yeah.
Don't think of big belting, towering sixes when I think of him.
I think even if you're talking about aesthetics of cricket, I think even before Shubman Gill came in, I think Rahane was one of the most aesthetic batsmen India's had produced a long time ago. And even even in the earlier seasons of IPL, I remember Rahane playing for Rajasthan and being the orange cap. He did win the orange cap once, didn't he?
Correct.
Yeah.
Look, he there is steel under all that class. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But I think he's taken on a role in this specific lineup. That's his role. If Narayan can't get going, really, they need that turbocharged start. They're going at almost 10 and over.
Yeah. Oh, that's spliced up. That might be that lands safe in no man's land. That's Krunal Pandya tidying it up. But at this point, I think Narayan has to go hard because he is eating up a lot of deliveries.
Well, it's all right, but I think we know Narayan to be able to do more.
Yeah.
That was a googly, by the way, the one I was looking to see.
Yeah.
In this case, you would want that, if he ever plays 20 balls, you expect him to go at 150 minimum strike rate. He's struggling to around 120. And there or thereabouts now.
Yeah. Oh, that is played magnificently. That might be 6. Welcome boundary. No, again.
Yeah, I think
it was a 6.
Yeah, it was 6. Yeah. That is a 6. Wonderfully played by Narayan.
Here we go. Give it one of these.
A bit of a gimme though. I think the bowler, that's a googly, but he's coming way too close to the batter.
Yeah.
He's coming in the arc absolutely.
Is the power hitting something that Sunil Narayan's added in the later stages of a career to his game? I've always thought of him as a bowler and less and more of a sort of a lower order batsman. Yet here he is, right at the top of the order.
Yeah. That might be 4 again. So that's 10 runs of 2 balls for Narayan. That is.
He heard you.
Yeah.
Really. Not all of 3. If you look back, so that's a good comeback.
Nearly took the umpire's head off. He had to take evasive action at rapid speed.
This was on the up.
Yeah.
It was not as close to the batter, but still he went through with the shot. By the way, Tony, to answer your question, he's always had that big hitting ability. I think he's built a little bit of a patience around the game, around his batting as well. He was one of the successes of the last IPL as well for KKR, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he was. Very much focused on his T20 cricket now rather than anything for the West Indies, of course.
I think he was once sort of on a comeback trail, wasn't he, when Sammy became the coach for the T20 team, but it never quite materialized.
21, 20.
Am I wrong in assuming it's his action that is still being debated upon?
He tends to hide the ball, doesn't he? He's a ball hyper. He hides the ball, and I don't think the actual action is dodgy.
He's since fixed it, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay. Rasik comes in. That was a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a weird delivery. I think it ricocheted back onto Rahane's pads. Here we go. Let's have a look. Back of the hand again.
Slow ball.
Yes, that did ricochet off Rahane's bat onto his pads. Rasik feeling hard done by there. Don't worry, lad. You've got another chance.
I think if the other edge hadn't materialized, that was plumb.
That was plumb.
He did well enough there, and also a bit unlucky the ball didn't roll back onto the stumps, but all right.
That is pulled away by Rahane, but straight to Phil Salt in the deep. No, that was sort of a wideish cow.
Yeah.
Look, the other guy, Phil Salt, whom I think RCB have poached, they've got a couple of good signings this season, Jitesh Sharma being one.
Yeah.
Phil Salt, if he works out, might be a good one because they let go of Faf du Plessis. They needed an opener, attacking opener. Also a backup keeper.
I think as a T20 player, I like Phil Salt. I think he gets found out somewhat in the longer white ball format, and we definitely saw that in the Champions Trophy. I mean, 3 pretty mediocre scores. You get more leeway, I suppose, in T20. to
Correct.
start hard and carry on hard.
Narayan has played that amazingly well, taken it on the full, and he has banished that to a boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He just placed that wide
Yeah,
of
plays
the
that
deep, cover,
rather
right?
nonchalant from him. Not a great ball. I think with this gimmick of mixing it up, slow ball, faster ball, slow ball, faster ball, you sort of tend to lose your line and length for either of the deliveries. If you have a set plan, I'm going to stick to slow balls. Well, I'm going to complete it. Okay.
And there was one.
Yeah. there we have again.
There's another one.
Yeah.
It works.
It did work. Again, that was really slow from Rasik. Wide-ish. And Narayan tries to hoik it again, but does not get any connection whatsoever.
But look, they are consistently staying up ahead of the run rate. It's now still more than 10 and over at the halfway mark with just 1 wicket lost.
Yeah.
At 230, 240 looks on the cards actually.
Yeah, if both of these batters bat until at least the 14th over, and then we have Rinku Singh or oh my god, he has lamped Rasik for a 6 over long on. I think it was another slow delivery, but that is another 6.
Yeah, it was an absolute corker, wasn't it?
Rightly picked. It was a back of the hand slower delivery and rightly picked by Narayan, who hit it on the up even as his body weight was going backward.
Didn't look as slow as his other slower balls though.
Yeah. No.
That was his intermediate ball.
Yeah.
That wasn't between his normal pace and properly slow.
He started well for Rasik Salam, but in the last 3 balls has cost him 10 runs.
Yeah.
However,
Causing a lot
I
of
think
damage to
CCB
the
have a
environment.
Sorry, go on, Tony.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I missed that ball. But again, no damage done. That's another tree planted though. So, oh my
He's
god,
out.
is that a
He
wicket?
caught
He's
it.
got a
Yeah,
net.
yeah,
Oh my,
yeah. It was a
I
nick.
thought. Oh my god.
It was too close to the bat.
Yeah,
It was a clear nick, but all right.
Yeah.
Salam comes back to take the
Yeah. A welcome wicket for him. He had been tormented by Narayan this over, but let me have a look. So Narayan tries to play at it, swipes, but it catches the edge, and that is a wicket, the second one, down for Kolkata.
Yeah, it was too close to him to play that shot. How many times do we end up saying that? He was looking for the cut, and in reality the ball was just too close to his body, and he has to go. But great knock.
Boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
Yeah, great knock. Right, I can catch you up with some messages, as that gave us a little break as well. Hello to Michael Ogle, or Ogle, Michael. Love the IPL coverage, lads. Many thanks from Germany. Whereabouts in Germany are you? I'm going to be heading to Germany weekend after next, I think, on a little football trip.
nice.
I'm going to be heading to Cologne.
Who are you going to be watching? Cologne.
I think we're watching Schalke, watching 3 games while we're there, but I can't even remember who they are. Schalke, I remember, is one of them. For wrong, so it appears to be a 200 plus score on the cards. Tata Cement Dust the key. Jay Grover said, what the fuck? When did I get a J named after me? They're avaricious, cruel, antisocial, and fair dues.
Yeah.
Jay
And
Grover
then
the
we
J,
have
indeed. Hello
the
to
most
Cornelius
expensive player in this KKR squad coming in, Venki Iyer.
Right.
Krunal Pandya in, back, paddle down to long on for a single by Rahane. Sorry, Tony, I cut you in.
That's all right. You're driving.
He was not
socially.
wearing a helmet.
Yeah, he never does.
That's
He
why
never
he
does.
I see. He probably doesn't prefer it.
Yeah. We are back to the 1980s aesthetics, 1970s, 1980s.
Long hair.
No
Also,
helmet.
when you look at that dismissal of Narayan, I think he held the ball back a little bit more.
Yeah.
Did Rasik Salam, and Narayan was looking for the same thing, sort of stay still and look to hit the ball on the up.
Yeah.
The ball just tailed away from him, so that's good bowling.
Ayer's first ball is flicked down to Cow for a single.
Yeah, well, it's sort of rolled to long on. Right, here is Venki Iyer.
Very interesting. But look, Krunal is bowling a little too fast. I think he's sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. He's bowling fastish.
Into the ground as well. That is picked up. Oh, and that is a wicket.
Oh, both gone.
Yeah, that is a wicket. Welcome wicket for RCB. That is Rahane gone for 56 of 30 balls. Great innings by him. A captain's innings, but he must return to the pavilion now.
Yeah, he just pulled it straight down deep square leg.
Square leg.
Square leg, yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like a setup, by the way. I think Rahane
Yeah,
had
yeah,
spotted
definitely.
the fielder. He hit straight
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
Might have been, or he thought he was going to clear him, either way.
That brings Rasik into the action again as well. By the way, he completed the catch. So bit of camera time for him there. But great innings by Rahane there.
Isn't it often the way? You get a great partnership and then one goes and the next one goes rapidly after.
We saw that a lot in the Champions Trophy, by the way.
We did.
Right then, we have a young sensation coming to the crease now, Ankrish Raghuvanshi. A fun fact, he is a United fan. He is really active on Twitter.
As in Manchester.
Yep.
He's about as far from Manchester United as geographically as most of their fans.
Yep. Hold on. Most of United fans are from London, so
well, true enough.
I'm a United fan, so. But either way, he gets off the mark of the very first ball.
Well, if you are a RCB fan, this has been a parsimonious over from Krunal. So maybe my criticism of his bowling style was unwarranted so far. He's he had one costly over, but he's doing all right now.
Again, Tony, if you remember, I did say he does get the job done. He's sort of a very handy bowler to have within the ranks. But my only criticism of him is that he cannot lead the spinning lineup.
I think RCB don't have a lead spinner at all. There, two backup spinners is what I would call between Suyesh and him. But look, coming back to Ankrish, he's down that long line of very good batters, under 19 stars who are looking to make it big. So a lot is expected of him. So I'm looking forward to what he can do. Meanwhile,
Tony
pushed into the onside.
Yeah. Oh,
for a single. Actually,
not that was a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah, they
need to be careful there. Again, Venkia paddles it down straight to short mid.
Skipper, I think that was skipper of RCB Patidar there.
Yeah.
I was looking for Raghuvanshi. Raghuvanshi's jingle, and I don't think we have one.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I'm sure Mog or Jeff are going to nail me and go, yes, you do. I sent it to you. All I can tell you is I'm not sure it found its way from that sending to the jingle cart, as far as I can tell. I'm sorry. You may well have done.
Interesting move to send Raghuvanshi in when at the 11th over mark, indeed Rinku or Russell could have come in, no?
I think Rinku and Russell, I think they are established finishers. So I would still send them after maybe the 14th, 13th maximum over. I think Raghuvanshi is more of a top order batsman. I think he could fit in. He could come down. He could come down for one as well. Like he could, like when there's 1 wicket down or 2 wickets down. So I think this is a perfect move. I think one of them has to go hard now. Suyesh in, and that is paddled down to square leg for. That could have been a double, but they stick to a single. But yeah, as I was saying, I think if they do lose a wicket now, I think it's perfect time for either Rinku or Russell to come in. Yeah.
Also, Ramandeep is
Ramandeep, yeah.
Look, from here, I think Venkaya is still looking to find his range. So this has been a good breakthrough, the double breakthrough for RCB in those 2 overs. They can probably look to peg the run rate back a little, maybe push it down to 220. But I don't really see KKR missing out on 200 yet.
Yeah. Suyesh in. That it was a googly. Well stopped by. Who was that? That is Tim David there. Did pretty well for a tall man to get down so quickly.
He's actually very nimble. He likes to field around the point gully region.
I mean, for Mumbai, he did field a lot at mid-on, mid-off regions, actually. Probably because we were looking for another Pollard in him.
Yeah, okay, also that.
third delivery of this over, and that is picked up by Venki Iyer for a 4, his first of this innings, and that makes it 5 of 5 for him.
That was a horrible ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Down leg, wanted to be hit, and away it went. Oh, we haven't used this one yet. Seemed to have forever to throw the kitchen sink at that. Which
he placed it
did.
well, though.
Yeah.
He placed it wide of the fielder in the deep. But, as we leg break bowlers claim, sometimes the ball get air quotes stuck in your hand.
Yeah.
That's what happened. It turned prodigiously and sort of went into his pulling arc beautifully. I think he's doing well to pitch the ball up, getting the ball into that little bit of that region where you can neither play full or back and being a leg break bowler. That's what you want to be. He had one of the balls in the over there. Let's see if he can repeat that. So, yes.
That was great delivery and well stopped by Yash Dayal at short third man. With his pace, I think he does tend to deceive batsmen a lot.
Exactly. That was an outside edge, but it was going in the gap, and from short third man, Dayal dived and stopped the ball.
Yeah, he did well.
That is picked up by Raghuvanshi, and that is a really well placed shot actually by him. That for 4 over, just wide of long off, and that gets him going.
Very smooth. Nobody moved.
Yeah, proper cricketing shot by Raghuvanshi there.
Pure cricketing shot, and though it was an inside-out cover drive, you may call it that, or an off drive, he just picked the gap perfectly, and that's why I think a lot of people are going gaga over this lad.
Yeah, let me just say he is 5 months younger than me, so.
Of course.
That's a sign you're getting old.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Tony,
but again, that's back-to-back 4s for him.
That one was wide, and that was cut away. At the moment he beat the point fielder, it was clear. He had timed the pants of it.
Was that the end of the over?
Yeah, that is the end of
it
the
was,
over.
right. I'm going to catch us up on quite a few messages flying in. Leah saying, she's 15 minutes from Cologne. Okay, Leah, I'll get in touch. I'm running around a fair bit, but I'm sure we can figure something out. I want to say to Cornelius Davis, who did ask about the scorecard, you're fair to ask. There's been an algorithm change. That means that we couldn't get it fixed for today. When we're next on, which we hope will be Thursday, we'll be back.
Oh, sorry. That is a wide. Krunal in for his third over. Starts off with a wide.
It was a bouncer.
Bouncer as well. So
and Ventesh is immediately called for a helmet.
Yeah, of course. Because I think Venkatesh Iyer should stick to his 70s aesthetic. You shouldn't disturb it. Come on. If you're sticking to playing without a helmet.
Why?
I think there was some sort of a signal between the bowler and the keeper. The keeper was ready. That was good. But look, I think better safe than sorry. I said once, and not everybody can be Viv Richards was once asked, why don't you wear a helmet? And he said, bring me a bowler who can hit my face.
Yeah.
I think it's more safety these days.
Oh, he's got him. Bold. That is a very weird delivery actually. He sort of banged it into the surface. That skid, and Venki Iyer was sort of bamboozled by it, and that hit.
It came faster.
Yeah, it came faster. Yeah, bang into the surface. Actually sliced on.
Yeah, big inside edge.
But he was bitten from pace. That's why his stroke was late. And I think the helmet change caught him a bit.
Yeah.
Something tickles Tony. Yes, I can tell you what it was actually. It's Jay Graver says, Leah, Tony's fickle. He's never knocked on my door when Watford are away, even though I live next door to Bramall Lane. Jay, next game, if I go to Sheffield, I absolutely will do that. I promise you. Muttley's off to bed, suffering from a food coma, but will be around. Jeff Perkins goes, fickle or wise, Jay. fair question. Jeff also says the Anchorage jingle was a bit long for this format anyway. I don't think any of those asked for yesterday got loaded. Well, the bear was here this morning. He said, I've loaded everything up. But you're right, I'm not sure if yesterday's got there, so I will, when I'm at a break, I'll email them to him and go, oi, what about this lot then? Jay was asking, since when was I a T20 player? God damn it, it's no wonder your sub-editors get so pissed off. I'm not sure I ever said I was a G20 player at any point. Certainly not one I used to play, but there we go.
Yep.
Over to you.
Rinku Singh in, and Krunal Pandya still sticking for over the wicket as the angle, and easily played down to long off for a single. Now,
I'm looking forward to this battle.
Yeah,
between these
this
two.
might be an interesting battle actually. But now, at this juncture, having lost 4 wickets, do you still think 200 is still on?
Yes.
Given Rinku has to play a longer innings than usual.
Not only one of these two needs to come off. If Raghuvanshi can anchor,
Yeah.
between him and Russell, Rinku, one of them need to come off.
Yeah. I mean, there could be late fireworks from Ramandeep as well.
They still need to just keep going at the same current rate. They're
Yeah.
going. They'll get to 200.
Boundary or 2 every over, that is. But again, looking at the dismissal, yeah, he was completely beaten for pace there. Maybe that bouncer first up softened him up a bit. Caused a change in his in the equipment he had donned. Oh, a quick single.
Oh
There
dear.
might be trouble. No, it's pretty safe actually.
I tell you, we do have a jingle for Rinku Singh. So here he is.
Rinku Singh's a really good friend. Goes down to the shops when I forget to get some milk or the snacks for the road trip home.
Jabbed down to long on for a couple. I think they might be. Yep, a couple.
Yeah, they did come back for 2.
I was expecting the person who picked up the ball, Mr. Liam Livingston, to actually have a go as well. But I think this over this spell from Kunal has changed things for RCB, brought them back into the game, so they're happy.
See, my praise for him was justified in the end, Tony. He can do a job for you. That is swept by Ankrish down to deep mid, and Virat, in familiar style, looks angry as he throws it.
Yeah, he's only 20, you're right.
Yeah.
Is Ankulish Raghuvanshi. What's he been doing recently? A couple of 50s for Mumbai in the Vijay Hazare. So he's in some sort of touch. Although that was back in January, there seems to be quite a gap for some of these players between the end of the Vijay Hazare and this, best part of a month and a bit.
Yeah.
You say the Hazare at the end.
Oh, do I? The Hazare. The Hazare.
And there's a changeroo now? I think
As
I'm
in
off.
Hazare, whoa, Hazare, oh. Yes, Messers is back. We should be getting the estimable Nick Brooks.
Thank you.
Is going to
See you
join us. Thank you.
See ya.
And
I think I'm
who's
on.
Nick's going to take over in this chair on ball by ball. You can stay where you are. Messers will be where Messers is.
Jay Grover reckons that the bishop is actually wise. I think he named a Jay Grover to appease the Sheffield gods. And we're back. Hello, Nick.
Afternoon all. We've got Liam Livingston into the attack. Raghuvanshi works him away for a single into the offside to start his spell, and I haven't got his jingle for you, but I will find it eventually.
You'll also need to find the screen mover so that Aninda can fit on with me.
Okay, I don't know how to do that, so we might need to call on Tony if he's listening. I can hear some rumblings.
Is that his stomach or its movement?
It's his heavy footsteps coming back into the hot seat. As Livy continues, he's round the wicket, but Rinku pulls out, so that is not going to be a ball, although Livingston is appealing.
Well, he was waiting for us to get ready.
Indeed he was. Everything works for Gorilla Cricket. So Messers and Abby, while we've got a little break, I ask you, how many are they targeting here of these last, 6.5 overs?
Well, they'd hope to get to 220, I'd imagine. Whether they will or not is another question. Hazelwood's yet to bowl another couple of overs, and he bowled beautifully first up. So it'll be very interesting to see how they go. I actually don't think Livingston's that good a bowler, but we shall see.
I agree. He's over the wicket this time to Rinku round the wicket, who works it out to long on for an easy single. 220 is the figure I had in mind, Messrs. I think this lower middle order of KKR, Rinku, Ramandeep and Russell, is the envy of the tournament, and so I think they'll be looking for sort of 15s off the last 6, add another 90. As Livingston's over the wicket to Raghavanshi, worked into the leg side for 1, so he's 3 off his first 3. He's going well so far. And Tony's done his wonderful work. I am back into the hot seat, and I'll jingle Livy up. As he comes around the wicket to Rinku, who sits back and slaps it out to cow corner for a boundary. So I've got work here, Messrs, but I will try and keep up.
Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Fully this time from Livy, worked out to the man at deep backward square, and it's good running. Jesus Christ, that's an awful throw from the boundary rider. So they comfortably get back for 2. They've got 9 off the first 5. Let's see how Livy can get out of this first over.
Probably with a 6.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the overs all the way, so I hope so. I think my highest is at 217. It's short. Rinku rocks back, works it to the man at deep backward square, so he'll get out with a single. It is 10 off the over. We're into the smash overs, and we say hi to an India.
Hello. Well, I'm sure Livingston wishes he was bowling as well when he was bowling for England.
It wasn't a great over. I think he got away with it there, to be honest.
Well, he got away with 10, which is probably 10 less than whatever he bowled for England.
Yes, that's true. Jay Grover has sent us £2 as a super chat. He says, I like the idea of a J in Claygate called Grover. Yes, name more of your birds, Tony, and we'll get more money out of Jay. Whatever we can manage. And Jay just says, hooray, Nick, thy book is still mint. This is Sri Lankan book, is it?
It is indeed, top man Jay, thank you. As Krunal continues, Rinku works it into the big gap in the leg side, but there's just 1. I think they would have liked to come back for 2. I imagine this might be the last over of spin that we see, and then we'll get the 5 overs of pace to finish.
Yeah, which is when the scoring's going to go up, I think.
I would have thought so. I mean, you've got Rinku, Ramandeep and Russell.
They're going to reach 220 otherwise.
No, quite right in India, but I think those 3 are all really good players of pace, good hitters of pace, and Raghavanshi one of the guys who I expect to be a breakout star of this tournament. This time he slaps into the leg side gap. They won't get back for a second though. They amble a single, so Krunal starts well. 2 off his first 2, and he's really bounced back after a poor first over and helped RCB just put the brakes on KKR scoring a little bit.
Yeah, 220 is I think going to be a real stretch here. Rinku can do anything when he goes crazy, but even then.
Well, I've still got visions of him smashing 30 off the Yash Dayal's 5 balls. I wonder if we might see a repeat. Krunal's over the... He's round the wicket. There's an LBW shout, but I think it's pitched outside leg.
Yeah.
Jitesh looks interested in a review. Rajat Patidar's asking questions.
Jitesh is telling him it's pitched outside the leg.
I think, there's nothing going there. They're going to leave that one, and that looks wise. But it was a dot ball, so Krunal is really bowling nicely here. 2 off his first 3. Ooh, that time Rinku looks like he thought about slamming it and then just changed. He swept it out to the man at cow corner for a single.
He's bowling really flat and on the stumps. It's very, very difficult.
Very straight and flat, as you say, Anindya, and it's hard to get through it or get it away. Both of RCB's spinners have bowled quickly. This time he's a little bit wider to Raghavanshi, who just works that into the leg side for 1, but 4 off his first 5. He's gone really well.
It's very impressive over the years how much spinners have adapted to this format. I mean, in a game which is stacked against them, they've really found a way to to make it so difficult for batsmen.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think in the early years of the IPL, the assumption was that spin would go out of the game a bit, but we've seen how crucial wrist spin is, and then finger spin has come back into it as well. This time, Krunal gets Rinku straight through the gate, and he's bowled him, so that is a huge wicket for RCB. Krunal has bowled brilliantly through his last third. He finishes with 3. It's 145 for 5 with 5 to go.
That's excellent. And Jay says, hooray, an Indo. I hope Jeremy knows my hoorays to him are given by now. I do indeed, Jay. Thank you.
Hello, Jay.
It's you know, no matter how often you do it, Jay, it's always very welcome when one comes on and is acknowledged.
Absolutely.
I think 200 is actually looking about their best bet now.
220 looks a long way away, and I'm going to give a little jingle for the wicket.
Shah Rukh Khan looks very pensive indeed.
He's not looking the happiest owner, is he? And I think a lot now depends on this man from Jamaica who is coming to the crease, Big Dre Russ.
If Andre Russell's in your hedgerow, to be alarmed now. He's just the DJ for the after show.
And so it wasn't the last over of spin. We're going to get one more from Suyash before we get into the pace for the last 4 overs. Russell, a much better striker against pace than he is against spin. I think leg spin he's especially struggled with, but he is probably still the best death hitter in the IPL as he approaches his 37th birthday.
Right, the little bit of white hair on his head seems to get thinner and thinner.
The old Mr. T stripe. As Suyash comes in over the wicket to Raghuvanshi, it's wide. He steps back and just places it through the offside. It goes out to the rider for a single.
I can tell you last year Russell batted 9 times in the IPL, averaged 31 at a strike rate of 185.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a monster in the end.
Yeah. He really is, and I think Ramandeep, who's in next, was over 200 last year. They obviously had great starts last year from Narayan and Salt, but these finishers, Rinku, Russell and Ramandeep, the R's you'd expect to go really well for them. As Russell faces up for his first ball, helmetless, it's on his stumps and he blocks it back. I think that's probably the approach we'll see to him against Suyash. He's not going to look to take him on. He's going to wait for these last 4 and see what he can do against the seamers.
Well, if Venki Iyer's first match is any indication, he's definitely going to be joining the ranks of the highest paid batters who do absolutely nothing the entire season.
This time it's wider and Russell rocks back and flourishes. He carves it away. It's past point for one of these.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Yeah, it was an absolutely huge prize for Venki Iyer, well over 20 crore right in India, and I think that might be something they look back on at the end of the season as not the best value for money.
Yeah, and what he's done since the time he was paid the 20 crores for...
This time it's full and straight, and it's a googly that's gone straight through the gate, so Russell is gone. 150 for 6, 200 is now looking a long way away.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh.
So I really thought Russell would sit in and try and get through the over of leg spin before he went, but he looked to hit that one well out of Kolkata all the way to Chennai, and it has splattered his stumps. RCB are jubilant. KKR are distraught because the much fabled, much rated lower order of Rinku and Russell haven't fired. So now, well, with just Ramandeep and Raghuvanshi really for batters left, there's a lot of work to do off these last 26 balls, and we're going to get a timeout.
Do you think there's a possibility that they'll sub in another batter at this stage?
Oof, they could Messers. It might not be the worst shout because they've got a bit of flexibility, don't they, with Narine, Russell, and I suppose Venki Iyer in their top 7 who can all bowl.
And they only need to take out one of their batters who've already got out, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So it will be interesting if we see that. I wonder if it'll depend on how this partnership goes.
But who would they bring in? I haven't seen the squad.
I haven't seen who they've got on their bench.
Manish Pandey, maybe?
Manish Pandey could be a shout. Have they got another batter there? I'm just taking a look at these lineups.
I mean, Moeen Ali's not that bad a shout in these circumstances.
Yeah.
But I think if they do that, they'll have to take out one of their overseas bowlers, right? It would have to be a Spencer Johnson, because otherwise it's 5.
Yeah.
So I think
they could take out Quinton de Kock, though, couldn't they?
I don't think so, because he's already batted.
No, I thought they could do that.
I don't believe so, Messers, but I might be wrong.
I suppose they need him to keep wicket anyhow.
Yeah, quite right. I don't think they've got another keeper in there. But yeah, they've got Anakul Roy, they've got Manish Pandey, so they could bring in another batter. I mean, you wonder, because even if it leaves them slightly short-handed with the ball, you'd think if they can get up to 210, they might fancy defending it.
Well,
Ramandeep Kambat, certainly. He struck at 200 last year. Abhi's coming...
RCB is going to fancy their chances here, that's for sure. And
I would have thought so in India, especially if a bit more dew starts to come in and it gets tricky for the spinners, because I think the real strength of KKR is that Narayan Chakravarti combo.
And the weather being what it is, and it's still being, reasonably low temperatures by Calcutta standards, there is the possibility that there's going to be a lot of dew out there.
And yeah, I heard it's been stormy.
Yep, it has. It's
the Harriman says it will. Sorry, the Harriman says will be Vaibhav as an impact sub, who I don't know at all.
Okay, Vaibhav is one of their seamers. He's their second seamer, so I guess they're already batting down to 8, so they probably can't afford to bring in another batter.
Maybe.
Let's see what they've got for bowling.
Going back to Venki Iyer, I think since he was paid the 23 crores or whatever he was paid, all he's done is go on social media and proclaim why he should be the captain. I mean, that's pretty much what he's done the last few months.
Well, yeah,
that's really helpful.
I think we were all expecting him to be the captain, but they've gone with Jinx, and this man is coming to the crease.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever going to be the captain.
So it is Ramandeep Singh. He was very impressive last year, albeit not having to face too many balls. He blocks his first off Suyash straight to the man at mid-on. There's no run there. So we're 15.5. They're 150 for 6. And there's a lot riding on this partnership. RCB still with 2 overs from Hazelwood, 2 from Yash Dayal, and they've got 1 from Rasik, who can bowl an impressive array of slower balls, so they've got plenty to go at the death. It's full and straight again. Ramandeep works it into the leg side and they scamper through for a single here, so it's 151 for 6 after 16.
Jay Grover says, I think naming all the birds in Claygate Grover might cause an unpleasant being John Malkovich situation. Farong says wickets has possibly thrown the GPL plans into turmoil for some. Yes, mine start at 403, so I need them to get at least 201. Leah says Shah Rukh Khan looks like he's considering 6 packs of ciggies per game again. I hadn't noticed, but I'll take your word for it.
Well,
yeah, 200 is what are we looking at? 12 and over from here, so that's perfectly achievable, I suppose.
It is.
And they keep going with spin RCB. We're going to see another one from Livy. So it's
Good
interesting.
move.
I think it's a good move. Ramandeep certainly hits pace really well.
That's 30 runs coming up.
Well, I would love that in India. I need at least over 190 for my bets to start coming in. So let's hope the runs start flowing here for Messers and I.
Not that we would be biased at all.
Of course not.
Didn't you put some money in, Messrs? Didn't you put some money in at fairly low numbers?
Oh well, I put in a whole lot at 203 instead of 403 and so on. So they're never coming in.
Well, you never know.
Which ended up being a donation to Guerrilla Cricket and whoever
25
wins the
all
pot.
out.
And we've
RCB.
got Devdutt Padikkal coming in as RCB's impact sub for the second innings, so he'll be batting probably somewhere in 3-4. As Ramandeep rocks back, works it away to the man at long on for a single off Livy's first ball. We get a repeat of that huge swipe from Dreras, and he was nowhere near the googly. It went through the massive gap between bat and pad, and he had to go for very little. Livy, he's full and on the stumps again. Raghavanshi this time works it squarer, but there's no second run, so just 2 off Livy's first 2 deliveries, and the boundaries have really dried up.
Yeah, I mean, I just have trouble understanding why all these players get bowled by googlies when, these bowlers just don't know how to bowl leg spin. They only bowl googlies.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you see so many googlies to...
It's not like you're surprised.
As this time Ramandeep works it into the offside for 1, so no, you see so many googlies now in T20 cricket. And I also think, I mean, you know, if you're a guy like Dreras who's got such a strong pace preference, is it worth blocking out those 4 balls and waiting? Down the leg side from Livy, but he gets a little bit of turn. It comes off, skews off Raghavanchi's bat, but there's no run. And I mean,
these bowlers are very, very, Bishnoi. Suyash looks just like Bishnoi. I mean, that's all he does.
Yeah.
Every ball is a googly, except a straight ball. Can't bowl a leg spin.
And there's no use of the feet by the batsman. That's the amazing thing too.
And I mean, they obviously don't look at the hand, but that's a given.
As Raghavanshi just tickles that one into the leg side for 1. And it's interesting, I mean, I think a lot of these death hitters around the league have such a strong pace preference that we might see more spin in these late overs. I mean, we're into 17 now as Livy gets out the over with a dot ball. So just 4 from that. It's another really good one, and KKR's innings has completely stalled.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
And to Livingston's credit, he's bowling leg spin, which is incredible, which they don't expect. A leg spinner bowling leg spin. Wow.
Yeah. Mark Arnold says, sorry, did I mishear that Stormzy is going to be a substitute? I don't think so. Stephen Kelk says, I won the wine at the Village Fate Tombola. Well done, Stephen. I told you I hoped you'd win that. Have they given Duckett a bowl yet? No. During the early IPL, says Leah, Khan was basically lighting his next cigarette with the last one, what we in Germany call soldering. Löten. And the scorecard on the video feed's not working. No, it's not. And it's busted for today, I'm afraid, Stephen. We hope to have it fixed by the next time we're here.
As we've got Josh Hazlewood back into the attack, he was superb up front. So let's see if he can finish out. He's short and he starts with a dot ball. I thought that had caught Raghavanchi's outside edge. It got steepling bounce, but no one on the field seems as interested as I am.
Yeah, I think it's just bounced. More than he expected.
And it's notable that he's really extracted good bounce. He's bowled at decent pace. There were some injury concerns about him coming into the tournament, but he looks sharp, Hazlewood.
It's only 130 Ks, but he certainly has got something out of this wicket that nobody else has.
Yeah, and as we see Bhuvi on the sidelines, I'm surprised he was left out because I thought he was a good pickup for RCB. Hazlewood continues over the wicket to Raghavanshi, who really comes well wide trying to work it over fine leg, but he can't beat the fielder there, so it's just 1.
Well bowled.
It was really well bowled. He followed him. And it was a slower one at 120, went really wide. Even at that pace, he's getting good bounce. And there was almost a run-out shout. But Jitesh could get the ball nowhere near the stumps. Keepers often aren't the best at throwing. So, I mean, it seems like we've gone a lifetime without a boundary now. The run rates come crashing down to 9s. And I think it's going to take one really big over for KKR to turn this around.
They're running out of time to do it.
They sure are. Hazlewood continues to Ramandeep. He tries to give himself room to work it into the leg side as well, but that skews off the outside edge. There's just another single there.
Well, it shows you how well RCB's been bowling. They haven't shown Kohli in the last 15 minutes.
You're quite right, Anindya. You know something remarkable is going on when the cameramen forget to pan to Virat every 3 balls. And if they can close this out well, I mean, this is the kind of target that he'll be licking his lips at, right? Such a good anchor. This time, Raghavanshi really gets a hold of that. It's gone miles up in the sky, miles into the stand. It was on a good length, but it was smashed away over wide mid-wicket for one of these.
He's right in his arm.
Yeah, right in his hitting zone. And, I mean, I think this young lad, Ankush Raghavanshi, such a promising player, still only 20. And let's see if that can get him going a bit.
That was only 112 kilometres an hour, that ball.
And he hit it 90 metres.
So, Hazelwood is in again. And he gets a similar treatment. This one won't go the whole way, and it actually won't go for 4. Virat's round to cut it off. It was hit straight, but it wasn't quite middled, so it was just a single in the end. But some signs from Raghavanshi that he's looking to switch gears. It's definitely the time to, with just 13 balls left in the innings, and they've got
Virat
work to do.
actually had to touch the ball to make sure that the camera panned.
It looked good off the bat. I thought it was going for 4, but it was didn't quite have any distance on it in the end. But that was a lovely 6. He really got back deep into his crease and slammed it into the stands. This time it's full from Hazelwood. He doesn't quite find the Yorker, but Ramandeep can only work it away to third man for a single, so it's another decent over from RCB's perspective. 10 from it. KKR 165 for 6.
Excuse me. Jay says, sorry, I don't know what that relates to. It doesn't make sense. A lot of discussion about the scorecard not working and all the work that T20 is doing in the background to try and get it to work. And Jay just says all the gorillas deserve hoorays apart from the obvious one. Yeah. Yes, it's all about the ticker on the screen. I'm sorry about that. It's interesting how much people notice it, actually, because I'm always looking at the TV screen, and I realise a lot of people aren't even watching on TV and relying on us and our screen for it.
Well, we'll try and be extra diligent with the scores, given that there isn't a scorecard for you. We're 12 balls to go, 165 for 6. Raghavanchi's 29 off 19. Ramandeep has started slowly. He's 4 off 7. As Yash Dayal is into his third over. He's gone for 21 up front. And he starts with a bit of wide filth, but it almost brings him a wicket. It bounces just in front of the man at cover. I think is it the captain, Rajat Patidar, and they scamper through for a single. So I was quite surprised that they chose to retain Yash Dayal over Mohammad Siraj. And I mean, he's got a lot to prove here as a death bowler, I think.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I'm not particularly impressed with the way they've batted in these conditions. Well, I suppose they're rusty at the moment.
There has looked a little bit of rust as Raghavanshi pulls that into the leg side for 1. But I mean, after going off blazing guns sort of towards the back end of the power play, RCB have really pulled this back, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the run rate now is down to, 9.1, when we were thinking 220 looked relatively easy target.
Yeah, and now, I mean, we're looking much more around the 190 mark.
Yeah.
As Dayal goes over the wicket, it's worked into the leg side by Ramandeep for just another single.
But Ramandeep's really struggling with his timing.
Yeah, 6 off 9 for Ramandeep. He hasn't got going at all. So a lot of pressure falls onto young Raghavanchi's shoulders. They need to find a boundary here off these last 3. as we're getting a few images of Shah Rukh Khan at the opening ceremony. It was
Throwing flying kisses.
Raghuvanshi steps across, but he can't get that one away. It's straight to the man at mid-off. There's no run, so just 3 off Dayal's first 4. Again, KKR just not finding the timing at the back end of this innings.
So your father-in-law was satisfied with the pre-match entertainment, I take it. And,
Well, he was not satisfied. I haven't spoken to him, but I watched a little bit of it from the bar I was at, and except for the first 5 minutes, the rest of it was complete trash.
And this time he's got rid of Raghuvanshi. It was short. Raghuvanshi looked to pull deep into the leg side, but could only find the outside edge straight through to Jitesh. KKR are floundering at 168 for 7.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Well, Yash Dayal looks like an inspired choice now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. He got a little bit of bounce. He got rid of the danger man Raghuvanshi, and now we are into the bowlers. So you got to say, RCB have swung right back into this game, and I think they will very much fancy chasing anything sort of under 190 down.
This is going to be Virat's day.
It would certainly look like it. Interesting to see how this RCB batting lineup goes, because they paired Virat with a lot of guys who strike big, but I think you'd probably say are quite erratic, the likes of Salt, Livingston, David.
Well, at least they don't have Maxwell anymore. Who's in the same category very much.
Yeah, he was a disaster for them last year, wasn't he? And I mean, interesting, the captain, Ramandeep Singh, Rajat Patidar, the captain, someone who casual fans are probably less aware of, and he'll want to go really well. As Harshit Rana comes to the crease, Dayal continues over the wicket to him. He gets it away to the sweeper on the offside for a single, and I will jingle him up.
Yeah, his name is Harshit. Go on, be clever. Make all your fucking primary school level jokes. Ha 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 ha, well done.
And that is the end of the 19th. That was one of Moggs, I believe. It was a really...
Could only be Mogg.
It was a really good over that from Yash Dayal, 4 from it and a wicket. So KKR 169 for 7 off 19. Messers, what's going on the socials?
Stephen Kilk says the score feed just says V, which must surely have some deep symbolic meaning. And Jay says you can surely. So it says to Jay, surely you can offer some clarity about the meaning of V. So nobody actually knows what the V is for. But
which V is that?
The scorecard. The only thing appearing on it on our screen is V.
As Josh Hazelwood continues for the last over, Harshit Rana tries to give himself room, but he can't get anything on it, so it's a dot ball. And I thought that the lower over bets that I had were absolute dead certs, and I'm going to lose absolutely all of them.
Yeah.
It shows you can never predict anything in this IPL. It's a fool's game trying to bet on it, but that shouldn't deter people from the GPL.
Well, the GPL's not betting, it's prediction.
Quite right, Messers.
It's a game of skill.
Hazelwood's short again. It's straight through Harshit again, so 2 dot balls to start the last over, and well, I haven't had to do a 4 jingle in what seems like about half an hour, so which shows you just how much KKR have struggled through these death overs. The area where most people predicted them to be really strong, but it hasn't come off tonight at all for them. Oh, and there was a little edge
been
there.
Extraordinary, actually. I mean, 1 for 17 after 3.2 overs on a relatively small ground is quite remarkable.
He's been fantastic. He's short again, same result. Harshit can't get bat on ball. It's straight through. He's looking at the umpire. I don't know why, because it was nowhere near shoulder height. And I mean, wow, I'm baffled. I'm speechless. As there we see it, 16 to 20. They've been 24 for 2. So, you know, it's come crashing down for KKR. Oh, it was closer to shoulder height than I gave him credit for. Harshit Rana might have had a shout there, actually, at the umpire. He's never short of an opinion or two, Harshit Rana, and he was certainly making himself known there as Hazelwood continues close to the stumps over the wicket. Short again. This time he does get an outside edge on it. It races over Jitesh Sharma's head for the first boundary in an age.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
He barely managed to get a little bit of bat on that one.
Yeah, about the only way they look like scoring runs right now, off the edge of the bat. And Rajat Patidar sees the funny side of it. I think he'll be very happy with the score at 173 with just 2 balls to go. Harshit gets something on that, but it's gone straight up in the air. The keeper is underneath it, and Jitesh Sharma completes a straightforward catch. KKR have lost their 8th wicket, and RCB are in Wonderland.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
So a short, fairly ugly innings from Harshit Rana comes to an end. Nothing going for KKR. They'll hope they can get a 4 or 6 off this last ball, but either way, unless RCB have to bowl another one, they're going to be under 180.
Absolutely.
And I think if you offered that to Rajat Patidar after a 60-run power play, he would have bitten your hand off.
I think he would have taken it with both arms even before the toss.
Oh, quite right. I'd bite your whole arm off.
I should say that is Harshit Rana's highest score ever in a T20. His previous highest score was 2. He had only batted in 26 games. He had only batted 3 times, I should add.
And I mean, well, India seemed to see him as a burgeoning all-rounder, because we shouldn't forget he was subbed in for Shivam Dubey, wasn't he, during one of those T20s in the winter. As Spencer Johnson comes in, I've missed his jingle. You'll have to wait for him to bowl to get that. He's going to face 1 ball and 1 ball only. Josh Hazelwood continues over the wicket. It's short. He gets bat on it, but it's straight to cover. They scamper through for a single. So that will end KKR's innings. They're 174 after 20. And I think RCB are feeling very happy with themselves. What do we reckon, Messrs and India? RCB's game to lose?
Very much. You go, Ananda.
And I don't think they are going to. I think they're going to reverse the result of the first ever IPL match here.
There are high fives all round. Messers, are you giving them any chance?
Well, I wouldn't normally, but it's RCB. They just do the weirdest things.
They do weird shit, and I think if there's one thing KKR have going for them, it's that RCB. I don't think this batting lineup's particularly well placed to play spin, and in Narayan and Chakravarti, they've arguably got the best spin attack in the competition.
Playing at home.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, I mean, 175, it seems like a middling chase that you'd expect them to walk, especially with Virat at the top of the order, but it could all come crashing down in a heap, so, I mean, we might still have a bit of a game here.
Yeah, they made just 34 runs in the last 6 overs. You'd expect normally to get at least 60 off the last 6 overs.
Especially with the talent that they've got in Rinku, Ramandeep and Russell. I mean, guys who are talked about as really good finishers. So it was a bizarre end to the innings. Narayan's looking pretty disconsolate as he comes onto the field. I wonder if we might see a bit of him in the power play with Kohli and Salt likely to open up for RCB.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to see Varun Chakravarti in the power play getting Kohli very early. And that'll have cooked the goose for RCB.
And I wonder whether they might be tempted.
There's a real chance of that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I wonder whether they might be tempted to promote Padikkal as more of a nudger, seeing as they don't have to really blast to get to this target.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that Liam Livingstone got away with none for 14 off 2 overs suggests to me that it might be his lucky day, and he'll end up blasting one to get the RCB home.
He did very well bowling his leg breaks, didn't he? As we should say, Krunal Pandya did 3 for 29, having gone for, I think, about 20 in his first over. Hazelwood was 2 for 22 off his 4, so he was great. Rafiq Salam a bit more expensive, 35 from his 3 and a single wicket. So yes, Sharma went about a bit, 47 off his 4 and 1 wicket, and Dayal was 25 off his 3. But I think as a bowling unit, they'll be very happy with that. Andy Flower.
But you know, I was just thinking that it's difficult to tell, but maybe the pitch is gripping a little bit. So Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine are going to be extremely difficult to play in that case.
Yeah, I think you're right to say, and India certainly there looked like, I mean, Ramandeep really struggled for timing. Narine up front.
Russell did as well.
Yeah, Narine up front took him a little while to get going. I mean, really only Rahane came out and sort of blazed it from the start. So could be one of those pitches that's slightly slow gripping. Yeah. There was a bit of extra bounce. I think Harshit Rana will get good bounce as Hazelwood did. So might still be a little bit to play for here.
16 dot balls to Hazelwood in 4 overs, which is remarkable.
That is remarkable, isn't it? And I mean, yeah, they bowled really well as a unit. We look at spin as a kind of weakness of this side, thinking they didn't have a strike spin bowler, but Krunal did the business, 3 wickets.
You know, across formats, if you think about it, Hazelwood probably is the most, other than Bumrah, is probably the most respected pace bowler in the world among batters. I mean, they're just really careful how they play.
Yeah, he's so consistent, isn't he?
He really is, and I think he did nicely. His reputation was probably enhanced by missing last year's IPL when everyone else got slaughtered.
Yeah, good choice. Stephen J. Garover says Nick looks like Corey from Trailer Park Boys, which is not a show I'm familiar with. I don't know if you are, Nick.
We wrap it up, I think.
We've lost your sound.
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, Trailer Park Boys is something you know about?
A couple of episodes. I can't remember the man who's I'm likened to. It can't be worse than one I got in a pub the other day. Who was it? Not Joe Wicks, the other Wicks. Pete Wicks, not John Wick. I would have taken that. I would have bitten your arm off for a Keanu Reeves comparison. But we'll keep waiting for that one. And I do have Tony alongside me who's ready to put on a podcast. So shall we take a little break?
Yep.
Okay, let's do that.
You folks another day.
Lovely to see you in India.
Likewise, Scenic. Have a good one, Messi.
Thank you.
Good trip.
And we'll be back shortly, but Tony's got a bit of Bishop and Bear for you in the meantime.
What makes a good bet? At Virgin Bet, we think it's a simple bet, a responsible bet, a last-minute winner when you're down to 10 men kind of bet, with generous offers, a bet that puts sport first. Sound like your kind of bet? Then you're ready to get started. Sign up and get £20 in free bets when you bet £10 on sports. Virgin Bet, a good bet. New members, min bet settled in first 14 days, 1.5 minimum odds. Free bets valid 7 days on sports. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Ready to launch your business? Get started with a commerce platform made for entrepreneurs. Shopify is specially designed to help you start, run, and grow your business with easy customizable themes that let you build your brand, marketing tools that get your products out there, integrated shipping solutions that actually save you time, from startups to scale-ups, online, in person, and on the go. Shopify is made for entrepreneurs like you.
Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/setup.
At any given moment, there are up to 3,000 people in witness protection in the UK, giving up their life for a new identity in a safe house. But what happens when it all goes wrong?
3 shot, 2 male, 1 female.
I'm Detective Inspector Liz Niles. It's a safe house, sheltering a protected witness and his family. Who did this? I am going to find out, I promise.
Protection starts Sunday the 16th of March on ITV1 and ITVX.
The Bishop and the Bear, the Bishop and the Bear, and to the delight of everyone, they are here to share jokes and rants and guests and things. Who knows what any fun they'll bring? Not affiliated with the Mad Bishop and Bear pub at Paddington Station. The Bishop and the Bear, bands beyond compare, buckets of savoir-faire. The Bishop and the Bear.
Welcome back, as ever, to the Bishop and Bear. The old Champions Trophy is receding into the distance. Some argue that many people didn't even know it was on in the first place. Can't say that about our listeners because we had loads of you and we were thrilled that you joined us. But I'm not sure how, other than that, how big a splash it made internationally. We'll have a chat about that. We'll have a chat about England and whether they what their recovery plan looks like and what we think it should look like. We'll discuss whether the 150th Test tribute game centenary anniversary, that's the right word, 150th anniversary, and should be a day-nighter. Crikey. The World Test Championship's going to lose 4 million because India aren't there. That probably brings us right back in a nice little circle to the Champions Trophy. And what else? Where have all the Pakistan players in the 100 draft gone? We think we might know the answer, but it'd be interesting to see what my two friends think. And if we get time, ways to survive the IPL. 2 months and 74 games of it. Our guest in the Bishop and Bear with the Bear and I is none other than the Mersey mouth, the tooting trumpet, the maker of occasionally dubious points, but always with hyperbolic conviction. It is, of course, Gary Naylor. Gary, what can we get you to drink?
I'll have, what time is it now? It's, yes, it's only early afternoon. I'll have an Aperol Spritz, I think.
An Aperol Spritz. Not a pint of brain skull attack, seeing as you're in Wales. We think that probably be the most relevant Welsh drink. Well, you've come from Wales to the pub. But of course, we're a virtual pub. We can be anywhere we like. Just as a very quick diversion, that comment about dubious point made with hyperbolic conviction. Just for fun, I thought I'd Google it and see what came up. So I did. It's a bloody the top. The only reference to it is at the top of the organic search lists is not Fred Titmus's Twitter feed. Which, I'm not sure we want to encourage people to go there, but that's where it was.
Well, it was coined as a jingle. Dan Norcross did it.
Yeah.
In the early-ish days of Test Match Sofa. And they were more innocent times, of course, because it was quite a fun thing. I embraced it and I understood it, and yeah, very, very happy to have a jingle of mine own, and that it was that. And of course, now, bloody social media and the world is infested with people making
dubious points of hyperbolic conviction.
Whitehead wins you, probably the best of them.
For the J.D. Vances and the Elon Musks of this world. So now I'm rather less happy, which just goes to show that, like so much else in life, that humour, character, psychological circumstances are situated. So situating it in 2025 is rather different to situating it in 2012 or whatever it was.
Well, we've already meandered off down a curious diversion, so let's try and drag us back. The Champions Trophy, chaps. A little bit of dust has settled. India won it. They were always going to win it. Some acrimony, one feels, in certain quarters about how loaded the dice was. What are our perceptions? Oh, well, there we go. Bear, over to you first.
You can't get away from it. I mean, everyone was putting that story up. I hadn't read it, the one on ESPN by, who was it? I can't even remember what his name was.
Well, it was the heavy roller, but it was actually written by, or the light roller, whichever it is, but written by Alan Garner, yeah. Not an Indian.
Not an Indian. Yeah, but everyone was saying, it was kind of defending India, but I thought it was massively sarcastic. I mean, he was basically saying, they fucking loaded it, and they did fucking load it. And, you can't get away from the fact, and I was saying it throughout the tournament, I think it's bullshit that they couldn't go to India. There'd have been massive bloody security around them. I just don't think that's a viable option. They'll fucking spout it forever and say it is. I just don't think it's true. Pakistan managed to play in a fucking World Cup in India. They were there for longer, played more games. If it required extra security, I'm sure it would have been there. It's an absolutely ridiculous statement to make, and it's all down to politics, and it's all down to Modi and Hindu nationalism, as far as I can see. And this is going to get me in a lot of trouble during this bloody podcast when whoever listens to it. Well, I mean, I do think. I mean, I used to love India, and I used to think, there was so much going for it now. But I do think you know, oh God, I'm really going down a path here, aren't I? But I mean, I just think there's a lot of cricketers now support Modi and all this kind of stuff, and the politics has got into Indian cricket and too much money. And look, I understand that they're the driving force behind cricket, and that's mainly because cricket to them is like the Premier League to us.
Something up to 80% of ICC revenues are India generated. That's one estimate.
Well, I tell you fucking what, they need
some.
Yeah, but they need some fucking else to play, don't they? They can't just fucking play on their own. If they want to play the IPL for fucking ever, they can do it. But it'll be bloody boring, and no one else is going to fucking watch it. It just irritates me. You know, oh yeah, we make all the money. Well, fucking the Premier League makes shitloads of money.
And we are back. Sorry to all of you who were very much enjoying Bear's profanity-laden rant. But we're back to cricket. These IPL games don't have too much half-time. Rahane is onto the field looking a little bit forlorn. He batted beautifully, but his teammates didn't play ball. There's no sign of Kohli or Salt just yet, who we assume are going to open the batting for RCB. It looks like Vaibhav Arora, is going to take the new ball. He's been subbed in at the halfway stage for one of the batters. And the bookies have RCB as a fairly solid favourite. They're about 1.5, but they don't see this as game over yet. Abby, who is to my left, thinks that there's still a game on. What do you reckon, Messrs?
I reckon I would have RCB as favourites, but only just at this stage.
Slight favourites.
I just don't trust RCB generally.
I think that mistrust is well placed. I'm looking for Vaibhav Arora to jingle him up. I don't think he's there, so you'll have to take my word that. Oh no, here he is. Mog's done us proud. It's the fresh-faced Ankush Raghavanshi who's been subbed out, and he is going to bowl to someone who I'm going to jingle yet. I think it is going to be Virat who takes the strike, so here is his jingle.
The pitches are prepared without a sign of grass. The score is mounting quickly and they've got a talking lead. We don't mind the challenges of being we don't need. He lets loose all his shots when the bowlers are fatigued. And we wait to find the match is dead and our doom is Virat. And Davey Warner rides around and says Kohli's the cat, Kohli's the cat.
I think it's Phil Salting the first.
Oh, it is going to be Phil Salt on strike, so I'm going to jingle him up briefly too if I can find him. Here he is.
Get up on there. So Salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. Scores runs around the park. There's no way you can hide.
Lovely jingle, that is.
Great jingles.
Yeah.
That squeeze one takes me back because I was many years ago at music college and Chris Difford was one of the lecturers. He's a lovely man. But anyway, back to the cricket. We've got Vaibhav Arora. It looks like it's going to be to Phil Salt. 175 is needed off 120 balls. Let's see if Phil Salt can survive a few. It's wide and full, and it's a cracking cover drive. What a start that is to the tournament for Phil Salt.
He needs a few of those.
He certainly does. I mean, there was big swing for Vaibhav Arora back into the batter, but he struck it true and clean, and to borrow a phrase from good old Ravi Shastri, it's gone like a tracer bullet.
Oh, great start, actually. Pitched, not really the ideal delivery, was it? Pitched up, really easy for him to get going.
This time it's straighter, but he's gone well down the leg side, so that's going to be a wide. Quinton de Kock did really good work behind the stumps to stop it being 5, but 5 off 1 legal delivery, so it's a good start for RCB. You think if they can have a decent power play, they're going to be well gone here.
Yeah. Again, over pitch, I think it would have, if it was just outside off, it would have been easy for him to just play it on, through the covers, but...
But interesting to see Vaibhav getting really exaggerated swing in swing to Phil Salt. This time it's a bit shorter, it's straight and he's interested, but I think it's going to be a little bit high, possibly a bit leg side-ish. But crucially for KKR, it's a dot ball, so they're into the game. And as we mentioned earlier, Messrs, I think the seamers really have to just keep things tight to give Narayan and Chakravarti a chance to do a bit of damage.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends whether they can actually harness that swing well, because there is a bit of swing there in the first couple of overs, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to swing long, but it certainly looks like it will for the first, 1 or 2 overs, and so I think they'll be targeting Phil Salt's wicket.
Yeah.
I wonder then if we might see a bit of spin towards the back end of the power play.
Yeah, it'd be gutsy, but yeah. Given how short these boundaries are, I think it makes a lot of sense.
As Vibav continues over the wicket, this time there isn't swing, it's on a good length, it's straight, and it's just pushed into the offside by Salt for no run. I would think that both Kohli and Salt would probably admit that they've got a strong preference for pace though, right? As do most of this RCB batting lineup.
Yeah, that's why the 8 overs that will come from Narayana and Chakravarti will be so important for them to just navigate through them and not cause any, not try to cause any issue out of them. Just try to play them off, just...
This time it's fuller and straighter. Salt hits it straight to mid-on, but they managed to scamper through for a single. Yeah, I think you're right, Abby. The crucial thing is not to destruct against those spinners, right? Just to get through those overs.
Yeah.
It's pretty right-handed, RCB's batting lineup. I think the only lefties in that top 7 or 8 are DDP and Krunal. So it's a shame that KKR don't have a leg spinner, Chakravarti is nominally a leg spinner, but someone who really takes the ball away from right-handers to cause them problems. As we got Virat on strike now, I gave him a jingle slightly prematurely, so I won't do him another one. He's got 12,886 IPL runs. He's played 400 games. Wow. Congratulations on the quadruple century, Virat. And while I thought he might be gone first ball, it was uppish, but it was into the gap, and they're going to get back. It is 4. So it's a really good first over for RCB. They're into double figures already, and it's one of these.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
So it's not actually his 400th IPL match, it's his 400th T20.
Okay, right, you are, Messers. 400 does seem a hell of a lot in the IPL for what are we now, into the 15th season, 16th season?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has played 200. This is his 254th IPL game.
Wow, even that sounds like a hell of a lot to me.
Yeah.
Vibab's in again. This time it's slightly outside the off stump. Kohli opens the face. It's played off the outside of the bat down to third man. They get back for 2. It's a good bit of running. So 12 off the opening over. Really good start from RCB.
Indeed. We do have a super chat from Jay Grover, who says Trump stroke Modi and the 12th man rule are all cack. I think we can all agree with that.
We're all with you, Jay.
Varong says, who is this opening up with Virat? Rubbing salt into the wounds of the lad. Shite not called for. And Jay says, Bear has a point, but what amount of bakshish do I need to spend so Trump and Modi are not mentioned? And then proceeds to mention them. Oh dear. Yes.
Unfortunately, I think we're going to be hearing plenty more of those two, as we've got this man going to bowl from the other end.
Spencer Johnson, he will fight till the fighting is for. Spencer Johnson, he's a bowler 'cause he bowls a lot.
So he's a like-for-like replacement for Mitchell Starc, who they've let go to Delhi. Spencer Johnson, he's a big left armour from down under. He bowls good balls, but he can also go for runs. So interesting to see how he goes to Phil Salt. Something's going to happen. He's over the wicket. He gets a little bit of a way tail, and Salt has a big swing. There's no ding. It's through to the man behind the stumps for no run. Kohli just with a little bit of sage advice for him.
Yeah, Spencer Johnson's only played 6 IPL games and taken 4 wickets at an average of 37.7 at an economy rate of 9.4. So certainly nothing to write home about so far.
No, he didn't go that well last year. He was a big buy, wasn't he? This time it's wider and slightly shorter, and it's the same result. Salt looks to stroke it this time, but it misses it by more. It's beating the outside edge. It's sharp at 141. So a really good start for Spencer Johnson. KKR wants some more of this.
Right then, Tony has come in and chirped in with the stat. Virat Kohli played in the first ever game of the IPL. Scored 1 and was bowled by Ashok Dinda.
Wow, that's a great stat from Tony. I wonder how many are left from that first edition of the IPL. I remember Jadeja was there for Rajasthan Royals. Dhoni. I wonder if Jinx was around.
I was 4 years old.
He's lasted longer than McCallum, that's for sure.
I was 4 years old. I'm not the person you should be asking. But I did. I mean, I've been watching the highlights, so.
This time, Salt gets bat on ball. He's pierced the offside field. It's raced away for a. So there was one of those hittable balls from Spencer Johnson, but in fact it was a good length. Salt's done really well. It wasn't quite in the slot, and he's just found some wonderful placement. Those two men in the covers are close together, but he split them.
Yeah. Great shot. Again, I think he was just getting a taste of what Spencer Johnson is about, but I think he should be. Again, I'm not too concerned about how the Bangalore batters will deal with pace, because I know they're quite adept at doing that. It's just the 8 overs that will come, and with the pitch gripping as it is now, don't know. The only thing that might be working in Bengaluru's favor is that they might be due, because it's Kolkata. That is the only thing. But again, I can see a lot of damage being done by the spinners.
Yeah, dew would make life harder for Narine and Chakravarti, but I think they are the danger. As Johnson bounces back with a dot ball, this time Salt steps across his stumps, but he can't get it away, pats it straight back to the bowler for another dot. So we've had 1 boundary and 4 dot balls through 5. It's been a better over for KKR. But as Abby alludes to, if they can get through the power play without losing wickets, then you'd think things should be quite straightforward. KKR need to pick up poles at regular intervals to keep this interesting.
Well, yes and no. I still think they need to score well during the power play, because once the spinners are on, then likely to be more restricted. So they need to make the best of the pace bowlers.
Yeah, I think you've got a point there, Messers. I mean, as Johnson's in again, tight to the stumps, it's short and it hits Salt on the hip. They're going to make it through for a bye. 5 off the over. RCB are 17 for none off 2. What do we got on the socials, Messers?
Varong says to slow down RCB. Bare blowout this early on the cards. RCB to win in the 13th over. I doubt it. Jay Grover says to Stephen Kelk, the residual of the verses, which is talking about the V at the bottom of the screen, has been referred to as the verses. Sounds like a proper prog rock album. And Denda Castro says follow-up album versus the residue. Yeah, prog rock's probably not my specialist area, but you know. To ease my pain about global politics, I put up the CCC palimpsest calendary, says Jake. You're getting pissed.
My word. As Vibhav continues, he's slaughtered, Salt launches it over mid-on. It's another boundary. He is looking really good. RCB are 21 for none. So Phil Salt was so good for KKR last year, a really important part of their title charge, and now he's doing it to his old team. I think if RCB are going to make that top 4, he's a crucial cog. Looks a good foil for Virat when he's batting like this.
Yeah. Again, Vaibhav's just, over pitching it, making it too easy for Salt to go over the top.
Yeah, it was right in the slot. It's right in the slot again, and this time it's going to be a maximum. It's big from Salt. It's into the stands. RCB are going great guns.
Yeah, Phil Salt's strike rate last year was 182. in 12 innings, which is pretty impressive.
Really impressive, and I think if he can do that, he takes so much pressure off Virat, right? He just gives him a license to bed in a little bit and bat long.
Yeah.
I don't think Salt feels like he needs to bat for 12, 15 overs. If he can stick around for the power play and do a bit of damage, then that's his job done.
That is his job. Again, I think Kohli's going to just settle in, take a few deliveries, slow things down for RCB after the power play. That is ideally, but this is really destructive work from Salt here. I think that should do wonders for RCB in this game.
Yeah, as Vibab's in the slot again. This time I think he's gotten away with it. Skewed off the inside edge of Salt's bat out to the man at deep backward square, so there'll just be one that time. Salt slams his bat into his pads. He knows he missed out there.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, Abby, Vibab's really got his lengths wrong here, hasn't he? I think back of a length looks like a better way to go on this pitch, maybe mixing in some slower balls rather than full and straight and pace on.
Which is why I think, again, with Arora, I think he's still so raw, which yes, you can sort of let go when you're really young, but that's four.
As that time Virat gets it away, he did pull it back, but Kohli skewed it out to the leg side boundary, so they keep on coming for RCB. And I think you're right to touch on rawness, Abby, and it's a theme kind of throughout these KKR seamers, right? Harshit Rana's been really the coming man for India over the past 12 months, but it's only his second season of a full IPL, and Spencer Johnson hasn't played much in this league, so big responsibility on fairly young shoulders.
Yeah, and I think when you're trying to concoct all these squads for T20 teams, I think there is very much a need for an experienced fast bowler, because a T20 cricket depends a lot on fast bowling, right? Obviously, it depends on a lot of things, but you need to have a premium fast bowler in your squad.
Absolutely.
You can't go in without a very raw pace attack. You've got Nokia, you've got Rana, you've got Arora, and Spencer Johnson, out of which I don't think Nokia is that great. He's good, but he's not that great.
As Vibhav looks to close out the over to Salt, it's short, and Salt has given himself room. He's carved it away. I think he's got enough on it for 6. So it's 14, 15, 16, 22 from the over. RCB have raced to 37 off the first 3, and this game is fast getting out of control for the Kolkata Knight Riders. And I've misjingled you. Add another 2 onto it because I believe it went all the way.
No.
Oh no, it was just inside the boundary. So I take back my apology. I was right the first time. Messers, what's going on the socials?
I think you should apologise for your apology.
Yeah, I apologise to myself.
Dan De Castro says, 174 was never going to be enough. There's lots of wordplay going on that's on screen that's impossible to actually communicate. Tony Bishop says, the new ball rule is just for the second innings. To counter due, the bowling side can change the ball after the 11th if they wish to. It's not automatic. I wondered about that because it didn't look like a new ball in the 11th over of the first innings. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And Jay Griffiths says, oh shit, hooray Jeremy, hooray Abby, I will never forget again.
And we've got Varun Chakravarti into the attack to try and bring a bit of control and maybe a wicket. He starts with a single. Virat nudges it out to mid-on, and I'm going to give him his jingle.
Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti, Varun Chakravarti.
Another new one from Mog, I believe. I haven't heard that. As it's onto the leg side again, Salt just gets it away. It can't. Well, it does beat the man at backward square, so they'll get back for 2 there. Chakravarti's been in fantastic form. He was ripping through teams in the Champions Trophy. And I mean, I think he's going to be really crucial if KKR are going to get something going here. They need a wicket, don't they?
Yeah.
It's on the stumps again,
he's gone
but
up.
it's flat batted by Salt, well over the infield. One bounce to the fence. They keep on going. It's a great start from Phil Salt.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
I'd say a 50 over format is a lot easier bowling for a bowler like Chakravarti than the T20 though.
Yeah, I think so, Messrs.
So much less margin for error because the batsmen
aren't looking to go at you. As Salt goes again, it's another one bounce to the fence.
No, that's probably 6. Yeah.
Oh, that was 6. Wow, that went all the way. So Phil Salt is really having a day out here. And that brings up the 50 off just 3.4 overs. So 22 balls, 50 runs. They're going at a strike rate of well over 200. I mean, heads probably start to drop if you're KKR at this stage. I think if there's one consolation they can take, it's that they got off to a great start and were pegged back a bit.
They just need a couple of wickets now, actually. And yeah, they've got the man who can do it.
Yeah,
right now.
Chakravarti to continue. It's in the slot again, and this time Salt takes him over wide mid-on for another 4. He's getting some real tap here, and I'm getting some work on the jingles.
You certainly are.
2, 3, 4.
I'm still a bit of a jingles rookie, Messrs, so this is really testing my abilities.
You're doing very well.
I feel like I'm under as much pressure as the bowler. Give us some dot balls, KKR, for fuck's sake.
It's not good for the environment, this lack of trees.
No, it's not. There no trees getting planted. That's gone again. It's taken over square leg. He's no foot movement. He's just whipped his bat through it. So it's a huge over. 8, 14, 18. I can't even count it. It's north of 21, I believe. 58 for 4. 58 for none after 4. It's all going mental.
Oh, dear. Some discussion between Dan and Jay about Yes being Dan De Castro's favourite music to this day, like for over 50 years. And Jay says that he likes the album covers. Dan says, yes, indeed, Roger Dean is a part of the experience stroke journey. So we're up to date on socials.
And those worms tell a story, don't they? RCB are miles ahead of where KKR were at this stage, and they actually had a fairly slow first 3 overs after really cashing in on the back end of the power play. But after 4, RCB going at just under 15s, and now they require, what are we looking at, 117 off 16 overs. It looks very straightforward from here as Spencer Johnson continues. It's in the slot. Virat's getting involved as well. 6. I think that's 6. So the pain keeps on coming for Kolkata. I mean, it's been some really impressive clean striking from Salt and Kohli, but I don't think KKR have bowled particularly well. Right?
Yeah,
we've seen
they've made it too easy.
A lot of balls in the slot. As Johnson's in again, it's in the same slot and it's going to get the same result. It might not go the whole way. It does.
Wow.
So RCB are flying. Kohli takes 12 off the first 2 balls of Johnson's second over. They're 70 for none after 4.2, and whoever said 13 overs might be that might not even come into play. They could do this in 10 the way they're going.
Well, the last 6 deliveries are 4-4, 6-4, 6-6.
I have not had a break on the jingles, Messrs. Give us a dot ball. Come on, Spencer Johnson.
Give him a beer, Tiny. Oh, that reminds me.
I'm going to need one. We finally get it. There we are. It was in the slot again, but Kohli can't quite get it out the middle of the bat, and it skews to mid-on for a much-needed dot ball. I'm going to take a deep breath.
Well, I'm having a swig of a nice little Creature's Pale Ale on your behalf, Nick.
Oh, that sounds very nice, Messrs. I'm due for a pint after this. I'm looking forward to a nice cold pint of Guinness. But 2 beautiful straight 6s from Virat off the first 2 balls of Spencer Johnson's over. We don't necessarily think of him as a massive 6-hitter, but he started this IPL well, and that's a classic Kohli shot. He's rocked back, he's called it, but Ramandeep gets to it on the boundary, so it's just going to be 1. It went fast, that, and Kohli knows that a foot either side of Ramandeep, and that was 4. Was that a Little Creatures you said, Messrs?
It is indeed, yes.
It's a nice drop, that.
A local brewery here, yeah. They're very nice. Their draft IPA is particularly nice.
Well, I tell you what, Messrs, when I was living in Sri Lanka, the only beer you get there is Lion Lager, except for I went to a party at the Australian Embassy and they had some cans of Little Creatures in, and after a year of drinking nothing but Lion Lager, that was an absolute treat. A fine drop of beer. Spencer Johnson is over the wicket again, this time to Phil Salt. It's short, back of a length, and Salt tries to carve it away. It's straight to Rinku Singh at point, so that'll be another much needed dot ball. A tree is being planted somewhere. And I think that's a better length. I'm surprised by how full they've gone. I can't think it was the bowling plan to give them a load of half volleys, but that's what they've served up, and they've been rightly carted all over the shop. As we see the field, they've switched to, so they're 2 men outside the ring square on the leg side, so you think it's going to be short again from Johnson last ball. It is. Salt tries to go the same spot, and this time he pierces the field. It was beautifully played. Nice. He opened the face. RCB are getting away. I'm on a jingle again. I'm trying to find a new one. Let's see what this is giving us. So Salt, a bit of deft touch from him, opened the face and just really worked it between the 2 men at backward point and short third. It was beautifully bowled. 5 gone with 75 for none. Have we got anything on socials, Messrs?
We have indeed. So Dan De Castro says RCB looking to start the season with a sparkling net run rate, and on the same tone, Farong says Kohli going for net run rate. Never too early to talk about the importance of net run rate. I need rum refill, my NRR. Jay says Nick is doing mint. Top lad. Smokes now.
Top man, Jay.
Cressler says great commie made a dot ball feel like a goal. I have a weird question, says Jay, born of reading several sporting biographies, but do you think that Virat Kohli has ever been in an actual physical fight?
Yeah.
You reckon, Abby? I think he's a shoulder barge man.
No.
Shoulder and scurry.
He's from Delhi. He definitely has been. He definitely has been in a physical fight.
As we are going to have Harshit Rana into the attack for the last over of the power play. I'll give you a bit of his jingle.
Go on, be clever. Make all your fucking primary school level jokes.
As he bowls short outside off stump, Kohli can't get bat on it, so it's a dot ball. I feel bad. I need to apologise to Mog because his Harshit Rana jingle is 1 minute and 46 seconds long. It sounds an absolute cracker from the first 10 seconds, but we haven't been able to give it more than that. We'll have to wait for a test match, I think, to get all of that.
I don't think it actually is that wrong. I think it's wrongly labelled.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I thought that was very long. I mean, the Ajinkya Rahane one's coming up at 3.5 minutes. That's a full pop song length.
Nah. I think Bear was on the booze that night. Or maybe he was so stoned that just seemed that long.
Our technical wizard Bear. It's short again from Harshit Rana. It was knocked straight back to him by Kohli. I think it might have been a really tough caught and bowled chance because he's cursing himself, but that would have been a blinder. But straight into the attack, Harshit Rana has bowled a much better length, and he's gone .1 off his first 2. He's almost picked up a wicket. It just bounced in front of him. It was a valiant effort. He dived forward. I mean, putting everything on the line there. I would not have been going for that. I'm a right scaredy cat when those kind of caught and bowled chants come.
Yeah. It was a difficult chance. I'm just so surprised Rahane chose to bring Harshit so late. I mean, if Arora is going for like umpteen amount of runs, why are you holding back someone who's more experienced than Arora?
Fully agree, Abby. I would have given Harshit the new ball myself. He's bowled brilliantly here, first 3 balls. That one's fuller, but he's cramped Salt. It's gone through to Quentin de Kock behind the stumps for another dot ball. It was a slower one there at just 118 Ks. Rahane is clapping, but I think he might have to take a look at himself. Harshit Rana should have been bowling earlier.
Yeah, again, no wonder his captaincy record has been abysmal.
Yeah, and and I've got to say, from what I've seen, which isn't loads, I'm not convinced by Spencer Johnson at this level.
No.
I think they might have to make the change to Anrik Norkir, but he hasn't been as effective over the past 18 months. He's had a lot of injuries. So are KKR slightly short-handed when it comes to pace? Is it going to be Dre Russ to the rescue? This time Salt gets wide. He's played that beautifully, but it's straight to the man at deep backward square, which is Rinku. He got well outside his off stump and pulled a wide ball. Kohli's doing the wicket keeper's work. RCB are well on top of this game. They're doing everything. They're 77 for none after 5.4. They got 2 balls of the power play left. Are we going to see 12 off those 2?
Nope. I think. Yeah, I think Kohli's just going to try to plod them along.
Well, yeah, now they only need 98 off 86, so there's no work really to do. Before Sunil Narayan's bowl a ball, they've got this game well under control. As Harshit continues over the wicket to Kohli, it's short, and Kohli doesn't get all of that. It's gone high, but it hasn't gone the distance, and it was almost a fantastic catch by the man in the deep. He's done himself some mischief. The man coming around from deep backward point, was it Ramandeep?
Ramandeep, yeah.
It looks to have really hurt himself. He was diving forward, and it looks like it could be a broken wrist, which could be more bad news for KKR. In the meantime, RCB get back for 2. It was a valiant effort. Those are the hardest catches in cricket, I think. When you're on the run, you're diving forward. I would have pulled out of it. He's gone for it. He has to be applauded, but this looks like it's a nasty one. There are glum faces from the RCB dugout.
A lot of pain.
Yeah, I mean, the reaction was not good. He ran a long way, he dived forward, and it's just that left wrist seems to have jammed into the outfield. It was awkward, it turned and twisted, so I mean we're all hoping that Ramandeep Singh is okay here. He's such a talented player. I think we were really looking forward to seeing more of him this season. I hope that's not going to... He looks like he might be alright.
I think maybe he just sprained it.
Yeah, he's up on his feet and he's not looking in too much agony, so maybe it was one where it just jammed into the turf, but it looked nasty, that.
Yeah. Somehow
a drama queen.
Yeah, it ain't football, is it, Messers?
Nah, don't need to dive.
I think somehow the slow motion pictures made
it look
worse than it seems.
As they often can. Will number 18 win IPL 18? I don't know what that means.
Will Virat Kohli win?
Oh, of course, Virat.
Or it could be Ankush Raghuvanshi because he's number 18 for it.
Well, I don't think either of them are going to win it, but Virat looks more likely based off this evidence. As Harshit finishes off his over with a single, it was short. Virat carved it away to the man at third. So they've got out of the power play, KKR, but they've conceded 80. They haven't taken a wicket. You'd think the game has gone for them because RCB are left needing 95 off 84.
Dan De Castro thinks Kohli probably did fight, but before he was 12 years old. Jay Grover says, party at the Australian Embassy. Capitalist lackey class traitor. Well, given no accent, they're probably not a class traitor. Jingle file size perhaps is megabits, not time, minutes and seconds. Get Tony to sort it out. Dan De Castro says scintillating ball by ball. And Jeff Perkins says that would be the right length for the full Rahane jingle. Even the edit is rather lengthy. Jeff can sometimes make a full track for a jingle. They're well worth listening to, but they do rather interrupt the cricket.
Yeah, well, I
think we're on a SEAT strategic timeout. Actually, we had our own name for timeouts, didn't we?
Yeah, what are we calling them, Messers?
The Gorilla Patreon timeout. We're sponsored entirely by Gorilla Patrons, in fact.
So we got the GPT. I need a breather. I need a beer. I've quit smoking, but I could do with a fag after that power play. All my bets have gone up in smoke. RCB are rolling, and it's funny how the change of format, Phil Salt looks like a completely different player.
Yeah, he certainly does, doesn't he?
I mean, yeah, he couldn't buy a run during the Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
He's batted absolutely beautifully, and if he can keep doing this for another 13 games, I think it'll go a long way towards getting RCB into that playoff race.
I think with Salt, I think obviously 50 overs is a lot if you look at it that way. There is a clear modus operandi you have in T20. Just go. Whereas in 50 overs, you're sort of hesitant. Should we? Even though you have 10 overs of power play, you never know if you should go or not.
No, I hear you, Abby, but he couldn't even do this. He wasn't hanging around for this long.
Yeah, I mean, he just loves the Eden Gardens.
Loves Eden Gardens.
Yeah.
Loves the IPL. So it would seem his third year, and he was so good for KKR last year. I wonder if they're ruining letting him go.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think de Kock's quite the player that he was 2
Yeah.
years ago. I was expecting Rahane not to have a year like he had last year, where he was so good. He made 400 runs, striking over 160, 170. But he started off pretty nicely. So maybe he loves Eden Gardens as well.
Yeah.
Nice place to bat.
Not better than the 1 KD.
No, there's some good batting grounds in this tournament, aren't there, increasingly? And then there's a couple where spin really comes into play, the Modi Dome and
Trenches.
Chepauk.
Absolute trenches. No one wants to bat there.
As what have we got now into the 7th over? It is going to be Varun for his second bowling to Kohli. His first ball is on a good length outside off stump. Virat pats it back to him for a much needed dot ball. So no Narine yet. No Dre Russ, who you imagine will be saved for the sort of second half. This time it's Fuller. Kohli sweeps out and he finds the gap. It was beautifully played. So the fielders are back, but RCB keep on going. Lovely slog sweep from Virat down on one knee. And it was aerial, but it was into an real area of space, and it raced away. Ramandeep couldn't get anywhere near to that ball. So Kohli's gone to 33 off 15. Really fast start from him.
Yeah.
Varun again. It's leg side. It's short. Kohli tickles it round the corner to the man at deep backward square. That'll just be 1 that time. 5 off Varun's first 3. Kohli thinks he's missed out. He's looking a bit glum, but 90 off 81. Singles will do it from here. Well, not quite.
No, I mean,
Varun has great news for Hendo. 73 minutes. Wimbledon 1, Barrow 0. Back to Kohli Cam.
Well, I'm sure Hendo is glued to the IPL, not to Wimbledon, and he'll. But nice to hear Wimbledon winning. Tommy Tooch off to a winning start against Albania last night. This time it's straight again. Varun's asking, but I think that's sliding down leg. Phil Salt doesn't look concerned. It was a hopeful shout from Varun Chakravarti. And it's going to be just a dot ball. KKR aren't interested in the review. I think it would have been an absolute shocking one if they'd taken it. But Varun, I mean, we talk about him as a mystery bowler.
Yeah.
These have mostly just been straight. I haven't seen too much of the kind of, there's a dipper.
Yeah,
it was
I think
full, and Salt just pushes it to long on for a single.
I think you'll see a much more. I think you'll see much more grip. I think from the 8th over onwards.
As it looked as the ball got older, it got more difficult during KKR's innings. But Salt makes his 50 off just 25 balls. It's a really good start from him. Varun gets a dot ball to Virat. He tries to drive it through the covers, but it's cut off by the man there. So that is the end of the 7th. It's a decent one from Varun. 6 runs from it. 3 dot balls. RCB are 86 for none.
Just a couple of messages before we change over. Arian K says Narine is KKR's only hope now. And Jay Grover says Jeff made an entire Test Match Sofa album. He's also made an entire Guerrilla Cricket album as well. If you're a patron at the right level, you get access to our entire archive, which includes all those wonderful Jeff Perkins compositions. He's also lighting up in sympathy with Nick.
I need all the sympathy I can get. It keeps on coming. Narine is into the attack, and I think you're off now, Messers, aren't you, for a little while?
I am indeed.
We might not see you again, because who knows if this is going to make 14th, as Sunil Narine is into the attack and Abby is taking over on ball by ball.
Yep. First ball, straight onto the pads. They scrambled for a single, but I don't think they were appealing for it. Some half-hearted appeals there, but clearly look safe. I don't see a way, even if Narayan and Chakravarti bowl really well from here, how KKR will win? Tony? Paddle down by Virat Kohli, straight do short fine leg.
Well, I think the only way that they'll win is if Phil Salt persuades Virat Kohli to play like he was playing for England against Chakravarti. If they can do that, they're in with a shout.
Yep, surely. And then Narayan in short, pulled by Virat Kohli straight to cow, and Rinku cleans the job. Here we go.
We need a Salt Livingston special, don't we, Tony? If KKR are going to come back into this game.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, and yet we've seen KKR just really, their innings went into reverse almost, didn't it?
Yeah, that one is pushed down to long off for a single quite easily by Salt. Brings Kohli back on strike. I think that will be their approach against Narayan. That is to rotate the strike, keep it ticking.
Well, yeah, I mean, as the bowling side, or as the batting side, 101 off 9.3 they were. And then 174 at the end.
Yeah. That is another single.
It shows the sort of value of chasing, doesn't it? Because now RCB don't have to try and make a move. They can just work it around and know that a couple of boundaries and a run of ball gets them over the line.
It does, but the consolation for the Knight Riders will have been that maybe it's getting tougher to bat, and yet
Narayan in.
It doesn't look that way.
And that is cut away by Salt for another single. That is 5 of the over, and that's 91 for 8. Oh, sorry, 91 off 8 overs. My bad.
Right. I just need to find where we are. Bear with me. In actual fact, I'm in the wrong place. Ignore me for now.
What have we got on here? I think Aryan is saying Narayan's KKR's only hope now. We've already had that. Jay is saying Jeff May. Oh, we've already had all of them. I don't think we've got anything new on the socials, Tony.
Probably just as well, because I seem to have got myself in a tangle.
It's only me being overworked today, but the boundaries have dried up for an over.
Varun in pulled rather. I don't think he timed it, but that is 4 for Salt. It's sort of a weird shot, but he gets 4 for 4 off Varun's first ball.
And I've jinxed myself. I'm back in work.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
I don't think he timed that well. I think it got the bottom end of the bat. But anyways, I don't think he minds that, as he got 4 for it. Geez, they have taken Varun for a cleaning, haven't they? 31 of 13 deliveries. Anyways, tries to swipe at it but misses it completely. Salt, that is.
He's got a bit of a hangdog look about him at the moment, as Chakravarti. I mean, I think that's his default manner, but...
Oh, that is out.
Well, that might cheer him up.
That is out. That's the first wicket down for RCB. And... sorry, my bad. Quite predictably, it was Varun who got the wicket. But that is first one down. That is 95 for 1 for RCB.
Yeah, it was Salt in Salt manner.
Yeah,
living by the sword and dying by it as well.
He was looking to slam it, wasn't he? And it just squiffed off the outside edge. I was starting to wonder whether he might be on for a first game 100 there, Baz McCullum style. But I'm glad I didn't say it.
Told you stick Chakravarti in front of him and he suddenly goes, oh! And reverts to England type.
Yeah.
And now let's have a meltdown, RCB.
Go on then.
I mean, 80 off 69 is so eminently achievable.
Yeah.
Whether that new ball rule will even make a difference. I mean, we haven't seen signs of excessive due impact, have we really?
Yeah,
from what
probably
I've seen so far.
No, I think it was just poor bowling through those first 4 or 5 overs of the power play. A lot of slot balls, and they really let RCB get off to a flyer.
Yeah, I think they'll look back and just, rule on how their bowling had done.
And the captain is in. Oh no, it's not the
No,
captain.
it's
It's
not.
Devdutt
It's Devdutt
Padigal.
Padigal, yeah.
I'm going to jingle him up.
Yes, the captain. No faff this year. Actually, there's a lot of new captains in the IPL this year, I think. About 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, who have we got? We've got Patidar, we've got Akshar.
Jaffa by one there. Completely puzzled Padigal. That is a very difficult delivery to face first up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautifully bowled by Varun.
Right then. Penultimate ball of the over. And
he's enjoying bowling to the left-hander.
Yeah, I think it might have been the wrong gun.
Yeah, just a little googly that just moves slightly.
Yeah. Padigal did his best to evade it. I think he just held on to it, did he?
It was
but
a good
this is what we
catch.
saw in the Champions Trophy. He doesn't seem a prodigious turner of the ball.
Yeah.
But he pushes it through pretty quick, and he just gets enough movement one way or the other.
Yep. That is played down to deep mid for a single, and Padigal gets off the mark after 3 deliveries. RCB are 9-6 for 1 after 9.
Right, okay then. There are some messages I can tell you. Jay had said, Jeff, imagine an entire Test Match Sofa album lighting up in sympathy with Nick. Arian K says, the floodgates might open here, but it's still bleak in my opinion. Farong says, correct Bish. Second new ball available only from the 11th over for the second innings. Thank you very much. And Jay Grover says, give the poor wee lad his Guinness. Who's that referring
That's
to?
me, yes please, Jay. I
Wait.
can't wait for it.
Is there some Guinness out there?
I don't think there is, no, but I'm off to the pub after this, Tony, so I'm going to be straight into it.
I was going to say I would quite happily get you one if there's one in the green room. I would go and get it.
Oh,
but
you do
I'm not
treat
going down
me
the
well.
road. This one's worked away towards mid-wicket. Who's supposed to be calling that?
That was me.
Right
sorry.
then.
Right then. Kohli back on strike. 36 of 20. Nick, do you think he'll get his 50?
I would bet my house on it.
Yeah, he's gonna get them ones. He's gonna get them twos for his 50, isn't he? He's not gonna go for any drives. Anyways, onto his pads. I think that ball just held its line a bit. Cramped Kohli for space. He was looking at to paddle it onto the leg side for a single, but could not.
So much depends on Chakravarti and Narayan as operating in tandem, doesn't it? If those two can really dry the run rate up, create some pressure, that's 8 overs that they've got between them.
That one is paddled down for a single, gets off the mark. Now, interesting. Just before this ball, for 9.2 overs in, RCB were 97 for 1, and KKR were also 97 for 1. So, I mean, if you look at it, they are neck and neck. But I guess there's the way RCB batters have taken down the KKR bowlers, not much hope remains for them.
And the lack of scoreboard pressure means they can comfortably tick ones, whereas KKR looked for big shots and got themselves in a tangle.
Yeah.
Technically, KKR are 2 runs ahead, but it's close enough, isn't it?
I said 9.2. Yeah. Padigal gets a single off Narayan. That is. There has been a concern around Devdutt Padigal over the last few years about his strike rate. His strike rate in the IPL is 123.
Sub 125.
Yeah, so
I don't like him batting in the middle order.
No, I mean, he did have a great season with RCB back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. But no.
He's gotten very lucky there.
Very lucky there. Just got up right in time to make it back into the crease. But that is 100 up for RCB. Within 10 overs, that is 9.5.
Harry and Kay is suggesting there might be a super over. Well, they're going to have to slow him down a bit, but you never know.
And I'd wager, Abby, that if they were chasing 200 here, Padikkal wouldn't have come in at 3.
No,
it
he
would
wouldn't
have been... Or Patidar.
Patidar. Oh, no.
Beautifully placed.
Beautifully timed as well. That is 4 for Padikkal. First of his innings here.
Feels like a while, but we're back.
Yeah.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
Was it Venki at deep mid wicket and somebody else who's more straight at long on? I just had the feeling they might have slightly left that for each other. I mean, it was beautifully placed, but both of them seemed to slow down when they got towards the ball.
I think communication in the field was lacking there, certainly. Yeah, yours, not mine.
It's like watching Watford's defence on a bad day, which is most days, to be fair.
Well, you're always a bit scared, aren't you, that you're going to clatter into each other. I remember that Steve Waugh, Jason Gillespie years ago back in Sri Lanka. That was a nasty one.
We've all done it when we're playing.
Varun in for his last over, actually. That is cut by Kohli for a single. Rinku in the deep. Rinku has been worked a lot in this innings, hasn't he? Out in the deep.
Yeah, and
Varun
Varun almost done. Just 5 balls left of his spell. So it's going to have to be Narine who will peg them back.
But that was beautifully timed. On the back foot. Oh, even Kohli appreciated that one. And rightly so. It was a beautiful shot.
And I think he had his best season, didn't he, Padikal, at RCB?
RCB, the breakthrough season.
So he's back. And they got a lot of blasters, so maybe it's a good fit for him as more of a nudger. And they're very right-handed, so as a left-hander he breaks it up a little bit. It could be a good reunion.
Yeah. I think he's such a... I don't know what to say about him. Anyways, Kohli has lifted that over long on for a maximum, and that... no, that's 6. Shows his fist to the pavilion, and that's a great shot by him for 6.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
I was just wondering if that also brought his 50 up, but I think it's taken him to 45, hasn't it?
Yeah, 45. That is pushed down for a single. Brings Particle back on strike. That's Kohli on 46 of 26. Pretty well played, actually. Not a typical T20 innings, but not a typical Kohli innings, actually.
No, he's looked in fine form. Some straight 6s, a couple of big ones over the leg side, and then that typical kind of intensity you see from Virat scampering 1s and 2s.
Right then, that is squeezed for a single to square leg.
And before the tournament, I like the look of KL for leading run scorer, but I think Virat he's made a good start, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Tony's got something for us on socials, hasn't he?
Well, no, I'll wait to the end of the over, but Nick just needs to get that
hold on.
Super Chat jingle ready and primed.
Yeah.
Where do I find it, T?
Oh, Lord. Hold on.
Oh, that's cut away for not. Oh, no, they squeeze for... That's excellent running, actually. That brings the end of Varun's spell.
Marketing 2.
1 for 43 in 4 overs.
And go for the one that's very short. That's the one. Well done.
Super chat.
It is. Oh no. You've gone for the slightly longer one.
The extended version.
The extended version. The director's cut. Yes, it is from our fantastic friend Jay Grover. 5 wonderful English pounds. My anti-Delhi tweet got removed. Knob to all of our Medabads. Abby's right. Delhi is a punch-a-day city. Arian K says, I feel like there will be more miscommunications amongst all the teams since they have been reshuffled so much this season. Not all players are as familiar with each other. Well, yes, I mean, that to me is one of the issues in just franchise cricket generally. But I was looking, even in these teams, there's a few journeymen who have just played for about 6 or 7 franchises, like, you know, sometimes one a season.
Yeah, that is cut away by Kohli. Again, the same shot he's played for 3 consecutive deliveries. Brings back Padikal on strike.
It is an interesting psychological question, isn't it? Is you know, when you play for so many different teams in so many different places, you know, is the team ethos mentality quite the same?
Particle shifts again for a single. Getting back to you, Tony, I think that's why I think the recruitment manager comes in. You know, you have to bring in players with the same mentality. I think it's more. This statement is more related to football, but with cricket as well. If it's like how Rohit changed India's approach, and Kohli goes for the sweep, but just gets a single for it. Yeah, as I was saying, you need to bring in players with like-minded mentality, and if you don't,
or as coach, you have to establish a rapport and an ethos. I mean, on the other side of things, a lot of these guys know each other very well anyway.
Yeah.
So they may end up playing against or for each other any one season, but they do tend to know one another.
He stepped out. He stepped out, but that might be out. Oh no! Yeah, that is the second wicket down for RCB. But another failure for Padikkal. I'm not surprised actually. That is another wicket down. 118 for 2.
The curse of captaincy.
You silly little boy! What on
Probably.
earth were you playing at? Oh.
It was straight down Ramandeep Singh's throat, wasn't it? He's recovered from that little wrist injury he took earlier. Took a pretty regulation catch. And who are we going to see now, Abby? Do you think Rajat Patidar?
Patidar. He'll just come in to calm things down. Again, I don't think either of them, Kohli or Patidar, will accelerate from here. It's just,
It's ticking across the line time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, again, 8 wickets in hand, 57 or 50. You've still got Kohli at the crease who'll be looking to steer them home. All the smart money remains very much on RCB. Another couple of wickets.
Yeah.
Could make it interesting.
Is what makes the difference.
I've got a parlay to read out to you guys that just hit for me. After
I will jingle up the skipper.
Yeah. Go on. Right. Patidar in. That's a dot ball first up. Is that Narine who's bowling?
It is indeed.
That's right. That is Narine. So I think he will finish up the over. Pretty good one actually for KKR up till now.
Just a wicket and a tree.
Yeah. Narine in. Again, that is a single. Patidar off the mark. Right then, shall I read you the parlay?
Give it to us, Abby.
Okay. So I had put down Devdutt Padikkal to score 10 plus runs. Right? He's got out on 10. Virat Kohli to score 50 plus.
Already
and fall of RCB's second wicket under 118.5 runs. And the second wicket fell for 118. So I think I might have...
Fantastic, you're in.
So
by the skin of your teeth.
And what's that going to be worth, if we may
I'm
ask?
getting 15 quid for one.
Oh, the last of the big spenders there. What was your stake about? 2p. The bear would be proud of you, though.
Yeah.
Gambling on air while the game's going on. He'd love that. That's
He's
right up his street.
He's listening somewhere, smiling.
He will be going, that's my boy. I've trained him well already. It's supposed to be Tony's job to train these graduates. Look, he's already following me.
Don't let my university know I did this. Oh, it's flashed. Oh, that is a steaming ball by Harshit up first up. Had QDK actually scrambling there. 143 clicks there. Pretty good, actually. But we have another look at the wicket here. Step down. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Probably go for 6. But fortunately for me, Ramandeep has looked like he has recovered from the wrist ailment that he had and completed the catch.
Yeah, I thought that looked really bad earlier on.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Harshit Rana in the ODIs against England, or was it the No, it was the T20s against England.
Yeah.
That he came on as concussion sub.
Absolutely, Tony, and ripped England apart.
Yeah. Completely fair, actually.
He's been by far the pick of the seamers, hasn't he? Only bowled 8 balls so far.
Which begs the question, why wasn't he brought on earlier when Arora was going for so many runs? Questionable captaincy, I must say.
Well, I think, I mean, at the end of the day, England were terrible, end of story. But I think in that, didn't he come on for
Shivam Dubey?
He's barely a part-time bowler.
Yeah.
And they bring on a specialist bowler as concussion sub, and he takes a 5
Yeah.
You do sometimes have to look at how match referees are keeping an eye on what is and isn't acceptable.
Yeah. Anyways,
he's got magnificent hair, though. You've got to say he's got fabulous hair.
Who?
Harshit Rana.
Oh yeah,
cracking lid.
Yeah.
And he's got a bit about him, doesn't he? He's
Yeah.
got a bit of spice.
Then played down by Patida for, I think that should be a couple. Aurora cleaning up in the deep. Yes, that is a couple.
I think you passed your first exam.
Yeah, I've got approval from Jay there.
You have. That's well. Once you've got that, mind you, you can. Let me tell you from bitter experience, you can have it, and then you can. It can be gone like the wind the next day. But yes, good. It's always a good sign.
Fickle lot, the gorilla listeners to you.
Jay, if you're listening, I won't have it. They're calling you fickle-minded here. Anyways, Harshit then slow won this one, paddled away in the same region as it was earlier. Ramandeep in the deep, as usual.
Yeah, played nicely. Didn't he get a fifer in the Champions Trophy, or did I dream that?
I think he got a threefer.
He might have got a threefer in
Yeah,
that.
threefer against Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Right then, attention on the big man again. 49 of 29. Give me the single. Just give me one single, and
we're there.
And we're there. I don't care if RCB lose this match from this point.
Oh, that's laughing all the way to your 15 quid.
15 quid.
Oh, come on. There we go.
It does
and
it
he
in style.
slashes it over, covers for 4. That's 50 for Kohli, and that's 15 quid in my bank account.
And it's one of these.
It's a beautiful shot though, wasn't it? I mean, It's a
Yeah.
great way to bring up your landmark. I'm sure he has got a hint of I was going to say Hollywood, I guess Bollywood about him. He's a man for the big moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
His hundreds seem to just come at the right time
Yeah.
when they to make a difference or to get maximum theatrical impact.
Yeah.
And he looks in prime form off the
He
back of that
certainly does at the
Champions
moment.
Trophy.
Especially in white ball.
Absolutely.
My concern with Rohit and Kohli is with their red ball form and everything. With white ball, they can take as long as they keep performing as they are now. They can take as however long they want. Anyways, Harshit to complete his second over, Kohli steps down and scrambles for a single, which he completes rather easily.
And gets the strike. Well,
Yep, of
wouldn't you
course
just
he
know
does.
it?
Strike hogger. Come on, let your captain have some strike, please.
Right, some messages. Most definitely, the conversation about Saturday nights in Delhi is continuing. And Farong's confirming saliva can be applied to both balls, which I suspect is supposed to sound sort of vaguely rude the way he's written it, and probably succeeded. What else can we say? Let me see. Oh, the Harriman. Big difference between other leagues and the IPL is the mega auction cycle, which makes sure at least a core of 5-6 players to play 3 to 4 sessions, which answers the team chemistry question. Jay's point was, don't know Abby well, but he seems wise and has a mint shirt. Top lad.
Yeah. cheers. Thanks so much. But anyways, that is we back to who's the bowler? Oh, Narayan.
Narayan
Back to
again.
Narayan. Yeah.
So no Narayan.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much smooth sailing here from here for the RCB. Shouldn't cause too many problems for them. Tony?
No, I think I don't know what.
Oh, that is slapped by Patidar for a huge 6. Actually, that's gone miles back.
Tell you what, it nearly landed on top of the car.
Yeah.
Doesn't that get you some kind of award if you hit the car?
I think you get the car.
Yeah, you get the car
with a dent in it,
Yep.
presumably.
Instead, it was just he just gets one of these.
I should remind you guys, Patida scored a century on this ground against LSG a while back.
I remember it well. A couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. So I think he does enjoy batting here. But anyways, he has trickled that down for a single at back of square leg. Russell rather slow to pick it up and throw it. Yeah, here we go. Big man steps.
some really good shots in this innings, by the way.
Yeah, he's played beautifully, and
Yeah.
I mean, if you wind back the clock to the start of last year,
Yeah.
as he tickles one into the leg side for one, there was a lot of talk about his strike rate and his struggles against leg spin, and he
Yeah.
seems to have rectified that. Struck
Yeah.
around 150 last year.
Yeah, he definitely did. Think with Kohli, I think he does take constructive criticism. The fact that he didn't accelerate against spin last year, he immediately rectified that in the next match. Anyways, it's pulled by Patidar for a single. Back to the conversation. I think he rectified that in the very next match. He is able to change the approach, which is why he's a great player.
Yeah, and it looks like they've built a batting lineup that complements him quite nicely with real big strikers in Salt and Patidar and David and Livingston.
Yeah, line in again a single. So that finishes up the 14th over 138 for 2 RCB.
And I think we're due a little change.
That's the end of me.
Overdue a change, I should say.
You stay where you are, Abs. I will work my way past you when Nick has moved his way out.
I'm off my Guinness. I will see you all on another day.
See you, Nick. I've got bad news. Wimbledon 2, Barrow 2. Barrow scored in the 88th and the 96th minute. So Hendo will be apoplectic after being 2-0 up with 2 minutes to go. It's not good to be within close range of Hendo when Wimbledon lose. Well, don't lose, but lose a big lead at the end of the game, I can assure you.
Right, this one has been just nudged. It was an attempted pull, really, but it's found its way down to fairly deeply set mid-on. It's a one more to the score. Takes RCB on to 139 for 2. 36 to win off 35 balls, 8 wickets in hand. Kohli motoring along in his magnificent way with the Rajat Patidar for company. It's very hard to see this going any way other than, well, an away win for RCB. So they lost both games last year to KKR, one by a run and I think one by 7 wickets. So an element of revenge. That's just cleared. Short cover. It's going to go all the way though down to deep extra, and it's gone for 4 runs. But there was a hint of risk there. Harshit Rana thought he may have had his man. He didn't, and that total needed has just gone down by 4.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
I think that was a great shot, though. I don't think he timed it extremely well. Still did well to get it over catching cover there.
Yeah, it's Ajinkya Rahane who's there, is looking thoughtful in the field now, I think. Harshit Rana. That quiff of hair, that's just worked around the corner. Is that Johnson there?
Yeah, Spencer Johnson there.
Spencer Johnson, who's at short fine, but it was whistled past him and went straight away for 4 more. And they appear to be in a hurry to get things done.
Yeah.
It was straight down leg anyway, wasn't it? And it was tickled around the corner.
Down, really good shot.
I mean, is it Spencer? Why do I keep calling him Spencer Johnson? Spencer Johnson.
Trent Spencer
Johnson. I keep wanting to call him Trent.
I want to call him Spencer Johnson because he is Spencer Johnson.
I know.
You need to put me back on screen now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. So you're not disembodied. We don't want a disembodied message.
Well, I could do with less of it.
Right. Harshit Rana barrelling in. Back onto his toes goes Patidar. He's tickled it round the corner.
That is another.
Messers will have to wait to be rebodied. No, he won't, because Hazel.
Aurora stopped it with his foot, actually.
Yeah, and it was Aurora. They would have got 3, and in the meantime, I can re-embody Messers and disembody our third chair. And everything should look wonderful on screen once more. Right.
Thank you, Tony.
That's quite all right.
I feel a new man.
Well, whoever that new man is, we wish we give him our very best. Okay, over the wicket comes Harshit Rana, guided by Patidar. He's beaten the man at point.
That was very
and
lazy.
it's 4
That
more.
was very lazy from Rinku Singh.
Very lazy. He's not a tall fellow either, Rinku Singh, is he? He didn't have so far to fall.
No, I mean he did it half-heartedly as well. Have a look at it here.
Yeah. It was really at gully, really, I suppose, or short backward point. I think Harshit Rana is sharing a few words of advice. I don't know what Indian for you knobhead, but I suspect it. I suspect that might have been roughly what it was.
Trust me, I'm guessing he spoke Hindi with Rinku Singh there. We've got a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't ask you what the translation is, but was it along those lines? Can you lip read?
It was in slow motion, but I could make out what he said.
You could?
Yeah,
you couldn't?
I could.
Was it somewhat impolite? Although deserved?
Most definitely, actually.
Harshit Rana, that's up in the air, that's over backward point, and that's gone for 4 more as well. And RCB are men on a mission. Nick's heading for the door. He's got a looking like a man who's already knows someone has poured his pint in a pub somewhere. And he's just desperate to get there. Meanwhile, I think RCB need just 18 to win. Still just those couple of wickets down. They are looking in tidy order. Was that the end of the over as well?
Yeah, probably
it's
was.
Just a flurry of boundaries. We can go back to you, Messrs.
Player of the match is Kohli Cam, according to Farong. Jay Grover says, fair dues, I also started the Guess Nestler's Cat game, and I've only got one right. It's always North Carolinian microbreweries. And Jay says, I'm more invested in Wimbledon than the United results these days.
Well, Wimbledon, Hendo, I'm probably glad I'm not going to be seeing him at all for the next couple of days. They were 1-0 up.
And 96th
Were
minutes.
they 2 up and then gave them away? If it was a 2-0 lead, he'll be more upset. That's quite full, and Kohli drives. He drives to mid-off and takes a single. Seems to be feeling his back a little bit, Abby. Is he?
Kohli?
Yeah. Every so often I've noticed he's just quite tenderly.
The perils of being an old man.
Don't look at me when you say that. I don't know what you're implying. Look at Messrs.
Oh, you're quite young. You're quite young. Don't chide yourself.
Give it. Okay. Don't try and recover from the hole you just dug yourself. 17 needed off 29. 158 for 2. But it's that 17 is the key part of the equation. Patidar has managed to pull that somehow past backward square, and it's 4 more. They really do want to get this done. They want the likes of thee and me, Abby, to head home.
Yeah.
Or whatever what are you doing anything interesting tonight you can tell us about?
Dinner with the missus.
Dinner with the missus. Hey, that shouldn't be saying things like that at 20. That should be an exciting thing to do. As a hot date.
Yeah, actually.
Romantic dinner for 2, not dinner with the missus. You say that if you're like about 40, not not your age.
An exciting dinner with the missus.
An exciting dinner with the missus. Oh, what do you think you've got? Where are you eating, and what are you having, do you think?
I actually have no clue. She's decided.
This is launched again. Is it going to go? No, it's going to be caught. Taken by the Rinku Singh, who's atoned, but possibly a little bit too late for his earlier sloppy fielding. It was pulled away. I suppose if you're an RCB fan, you will at least breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. It wasn't Virat Kohli. It was Patidar. And he didn't quite get hold of it. Pulled it down to long on. And he's gone.
But well played, actually. 34 of 16.
For 34 of 16.
Express innings there.
And he accelerated a little bit, didn't he, as he sort of gathered pace as things went. But he has to go now. And is he signalling a strategic... What the... 13 needed off 27 balls with 7 wickets in hand. And we're having a sodding say at strategic...
Because we haven't reached the advertising quota, Tony.
Well, I'll
give you some excitement. There's an article just been published in the Times under the headline "Planned for £500 million indoor test venue that could change English cricket." The ECB is considering using money bought brought in by the sale of the 100 franchises to fund first of its kind stadium that could host matches outside traditional summer window. Well, the traditional summer window could probably use a roof as well. So
for that, Reed, we're going to give all of the summer to franchise cricket, and they're going to play indoors in December for the occasional test match.
Yeah, I don't think that's
maybe
go so
I'm
well.
being too cynical.
Anyhow, £500 million isn't going to buy a full-size indoor stadium. You can bet on that; it'll cost at least £1 billion. Probably more. I mean, they're talking about $2 billion for Old Trafford, aren't they? Well, for whatever they build in Manchester.
Yeah. I've seen some of the early designs of that.
The circus tent.
The circus tent. Look, quite futuristic.
Yeah, Cirque du Soleil goes big.
Anyway, here you have to assume that the job is all but done. What they're talking about in the SEAT strategic timeout, or as we like to call it, the
commercial break,
the Guerrilla Cricket Patreons timeout, which gives me a chance, missus, doesn't it, to say, if you have enjoyed our coverage, we do this for love. What keeps us on the road is when kind, generous people become patrons, but we don't just expect that for nothing, as well as our regular match coverage in the way that we do it. There are plenty of other benefits as well. You get first dibs on all of our podcast content, notably the Bishop and Bear. You get regular article written content. There's merchandising in there. You get the chance to come to our new studio. There's a number of different levels for different amounts of money, but all of it, and whatever you do give us, helps us to keep doing what we do. We love doing it with you, and what enables us to do that, particularly now we do have a date, I think it's about the 13th or 14th of April, mid IPL. We're going to be shipping out of Sydenham. We're going to be heading into a studio, fabulous studio in Lewisham, conveniently right next to a pub and a brewery. Not the reason we chose it, but your help has enabled us to do that, and we are eternally grateful, but we always need more. Right, this is pulled by Liam Livingston, who's the new man, and he's going to start with a boundary. He's clearly got the memo that maybe there's one or two RCB players have got a cold Guinness waiting for them that they don't want to hang around for, because that's the first ball Livingston faced, and away it went.
And 2 and 3 and 4.
Didn't even have time to jingle in, did we? Hopefully he's here somewhere. Yes.
I am Liam Livingston. I play for the Lightning. My one-day kit is blue, but for the tests it's white.
Lovely jingle, actually.
It is, isn't it? So 9 off 26, 7 wickets in hand. Livingston off the mark with a boundary. And in good old Liam Livingston fashion, he was fooled by a slower one there, and he was swung through it, and the ball arrived about 20 minutes later. But in the great scheme of things, I don't think that's going to affect the result. What's WinViz telling us at the moment, Abby?
Sorry?
What's WinViz telling us, or Win Predictor? Do we have that access to that?
I think. Hold on, let me have a look.
Well, Cricinfo has RCB at 98.54%.
98.5. That makes it sound so ludicrously scientific.
Yeah.
As that one is cut.
Because you never know. You never know.
Deep cover.
You never know, Tony. You've got Livingston on strike. Maybe Kohli has a brain fade. Livingston always has a brain fade. So.
Well, true. I mean, you never say never till it's over, as they say. I think the Win Predictor or whatever it is just two blokes in a room with a pint, and every so often they just say, well, what do you reckon? Oh, I don't know.
Well, WinViz is at 98%.
There we go. It's okay, so that's a nice round number. But anyone who can come up with 98.76 or whatever it is just trying to make it sound authentic when it was just a finger in the air, roughly this, which is probably as accurate as almost anything. Messers.
So, Farong points out that Kohli now has the orange cap in hand. Marketing masterpiece, player of the match, no doubt. I'd make Hazelwood the player of the match, to be honest. Jay Grover says Buy shower curtains, oh cheap wee pricks.
Well, that is one thing you can definitely. That is in our merch store. That's pulled away around the corner. 4-6. The crowd goes scurrying. The umpire's arms go up. And that must get us very close. That's our friend Spencer Johnson, who's looking a bit more like Frank Spencer at the moment, to be honest.
Trent.
Not Trent. Why? Well, was there an Irish cricketer called Trent Johnson? Who am I thinking of, Mrs.?
I'm thinking of Trent
I've
Bolt.
got no idea. I shall look up Trent Johnson for you.
I might be confusing two players. Anyway, all that is left to win as a result of that towering Livingstonian 6, which I didn't even jingle, is 2 runs. There is a conference taking place between Harshit Rana and Johnson. What you tell a bloke when the team's got 2 runs to score, 4 overs the best part of to score those 2 runs, and 7 wickets in hand. What do you say? Just don't bullshit. Or bullshit, and we can go and get that pint of cold Guinness.
Of course.
There was a Trent Johnson who played 4 ODIs. Played ODIs for Ireland against England in 2006.
Thank you. Driven!
That's 4.
Driven through mid-wicket, and that's the game done. Livingston has said to Virat Kohli, look, Virat, mate, nice job, but I'm going to show you how it's done. He's got 15 off just 5 balls. RCB have won this game at a canter by 7 wickets, so they've overturned the double defeats at the hands of the Knight Riders from last year. Virat Kohli has a quiet word in the umpire's ear, which probably says, when do I get my Man of the Match award? However, Messrs and I think possibly, Joshua Reginald Hazelwood should also be in with a shout. Keep your eyes on that. Abby, final thoughts from you?
I think it's an upset right now. I think going into the game, Kolkata were the favourites to win. But I guess RCB's spin attack did the damage and turned things into their favour. Great innings. I think man of the match should be Phil Salt and not Kohli. Looking at it.
Well, Phil Salt certainly got them off to an absolute flyer, didn't he? For some reason, I can't pick up the scorecard at the moment, which is hugely
He got
annoying.
56 off 31. Kohli got 59 off 36. I still go for the bowlers because, batting wasn't that hard. I think 2 for 22 off 4 overs is remarkable in the IPL. And it changed the game.
Who would you give it to then?
Hazelwood.
Not Krunal?
Nope. 22 off 4 overs is just crucial, especially when you're doing the opening 2 overs and 2 of the last 3 overs.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at Krunal, that's 29 off 4 with 3 wickets. So, arguably better.
Well, a quick reminder. Oh, sorry, go on then, Mrs. You were saying?
Well, Krunal was going at 7 and over, Hazelwood at 5.5 and over, but at the end of the day, I just think that the start and the finish were absolutely crucial in terms of that.
Yes.
Anyhow.
Well, a quick reminder: 174 for 8 was the story of the Knight Riders innings, but that doesn't really tell you the story because it should have been so many more. They were 60 for 1 in the power play. They were 100 for 1 after 9.3, but then they seemed to completely lose their way. Sunil with 44, Rahane with 56, took them to a terrifically strong position, which they then proceeded just to fritter away with, it must be said, some very good bowling. 2 for 22 for Hazelwood, 3 for 29 for Krunal Pandya, and chipping in from Yash Dayal, Rashik Salam and Siyash Sharma as well. But the game, I think, Abby, was as good as done when Salt and Kohli just bludgeoned their way through the power play. Salt did go for 56. Kohli still there at the end on 59. Rajat Patidar saw them most of the way, and Livingston came in to finish the job. 177 for 3 they finished, and most of the KKR bowlers took a bit of tap, frankly. Who was the pick of them?
Yeah,
One for
probably
43
Harshit.
for Valan Chakravarti, maybe, and Sunil Rahane, 1 for 27 was undoubtedly the pick. But outside of those two, there really wasn't much that threatened that RCB pair. So there you have it. We're going to be back on Thursday. Who's playing on Thursday? Can you remember?
Yeah. Hold on, let me have a look.
Okay. Well, while
So is Thursday going to be our day? Is it for our
Yes.
IPL, Tony?
Yes. We had a committee meeting the other day.
That's Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Lucknow Super Giants.
Oh, well, that'll be another match. And yes, we changed because Nick, who was on today, who we think is excellent, can't do Wednesdays. So that was our philosophy and our theory. Well, we'll move it to Thursday then.
Okay,
So that's our plan.
Thursdays it'll be. Jeff Perkins makes the point in relation to your comment about WinViz being two blokes with a beer. He says, to be fair, two blokes in a room with a beer work well for Gorilla, which I think is an excellent point.
Oh, you're spot on, exactly.
Yeah. Jay says, Trent Johnson, Irish Aussie captain. I'm going to my grave as the only man stupid enough to buy a GC shower curtain, aren't I? Tower very much to you all. Yeah, I think you are. And Perko says...
Generous
value,
enough, not stupid enough. Let's be fair.
Yeah. Perko says, just think how much value your unique asset will reach due to no one else having one, Jay.
Exactly. There's only one Mona Lisa. There's only one Venus de Milo. And probably there's only one Gorilla shower curtain, and Jay's got it.
Yeah, and as Jay says, my nephew will be a penny heir. A good point upon which to finish. Thank you all very much. We'll see you on Thursday night.
We will indeed. We shall look forward to it. In the meantime, take care of each other and see you Thursday.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come. This is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution.